Yeah, no, it's all good. We're back for session 13 of the Damned. And a change to our rotation. Oh, I know. I made sure to get it on camera so everyone would hear it, Tim.
Like zoom in slowly.
Zoom into the dream.
Brought to you by.
Brought to you by Uppy. But we don't talk about that on camera. We only want to be sponsored by High Choose.
That's true.
That's right.
Yep.
Right. So if we can work the word High Choose in a couple times during the recording, that gives us a better chance of High Choose actually paying attention.
Hey, and if anybody happens to know anybody in Haichu marketing,
if you yourself are in Haichu marketing, just remember us.
We really love High Choose.
Yeah.
The High Choose sunglasses are the shit. I told you about that. They're like super high quality. They're actual Ray-Bans.
That's so crazy.
And the High Choose backpack that we got, Jack uses that for all of his gaming images. It's called his convention bag.
He's the cool kid.
See, Haichu? This is why you should sponsor us.
See, Haichu, we love you.
Right. Dave is out tonight, and for those who are listening or watching, you know that Sarah had to step away. However, Will, who is I run games for Will and his friends on Sunday, my friends now too. So Will's joining us.
We're all friends now.
We're all friends. Keep people together. Keep people together. Yeah, we're bringing the circles together. So we will introduce his character tonight in the midst of this room, but I think we should probably talk about what happened last week. And the only people who were here were Nick and Paige, because Dave is out. Obviously.
Yeah, Dave is out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
So let's talk about it.
I'm gonna have to remember last week.
Let's talk about pop music.
Let's talk
about
about baby.
Bruno.
We did a lot. So we did a lot of kind of character development stuff for a while and traveled a bit.
What does that mean, character development? What happened?
My favorite thing was we did like a fireside chat and kind of recalled some of our past and our history, which helped me develop kind of a concept of my character. We were talking to, was it Alma?
Yeah.
No. It was. Yeah. Go ahead.
So let's like not get too far ahead.
Yeah.
But like so we started at because we had returned to the crypt, the church, you know.
Right.
So the idea was that, you know, what are we now? Where do we stand in the world? Like all these kind of like existential questions about like, now that we're basically immortal, like we have all the time in the world to fuck around and do whatever the hell we want, and you know, solve this problem in due time, and etc. So like we were kind of talking about that, and like we noticed that every character that was in the place where we woke up, we all had like these urns that had our body or something in there, something clattering around in these urns.
They tinkered
around. So I think wow, I am bad with names. Guillaume took his own urn
right
on the journey, and I decided, hey, this is probably as safe a place as any. Why bring it with me? Just gonna leave it here. If I die, I die. Whatever. So the journey began. And we headed west, I believe. Yeah,
you're going to go to Sodden and Poil because you had learned that one of these lieutenants of the Lightbringer was there, a woman who they call the Witch of the Woods.
That's who it was.
Lieutenant, if you're English. But so
Miss
we're
Jackson, if you're nasty.
we headed west. On a bit of a journey, and we came upon this plain of Sultan statues. All these people that had like
in mid-travel,
mid stride. It was like a people that were like a group of people that seemed to be on like some sort of pilgrimage or exodus or something, and they all just sultified. And there was one Siabran man there. Woman, okay, who kind of gave us a breakdown of what had happened, and it was this wizard up on this mountain, who had decided to ensorcel these people and turn them into salt. And we had this discussion about what the best course of action would be to, look into this person and possibly dispatch them or squeeze them for information or just move on. So in the process, we kind of spoke with this Siabran person who had a out of tune mandolin. They played their song, and it was decided what to go. But when we woke up the next day, they were just gone. So
She was gone.
she was gone.
Yeah.
So it was kind of
The salt people were still there.
it was kind of a question of whether is this person a ghost or some sort of specter, or are they just like,
Was she the witch?
she's a witch, just whatever, who knows. So it was decided amongst us, and then the party, I believe we had a whole discussion with everyone regarding what to do next. It was finally decided that we would
Go up the.
we would storm the mountain
And I stormed it real hard.
and take on this wizard. So we headed up towards that direction, and we encountered a group of these revenant knights who gave us some trouble on the way up. And that's kind of we had a bit of a combat. I think we left it at that. After,
We defeated them, but
they came back. That's
They came
right.
back,
So they
yeah.
came back. We defeated them, but they
came back, and that's where
much
we
like the other husks, they came back to life because
Yeah.
we did not use fire to dispatch them. Rookie mistake, right, Clovis?
Real rookie, guys. Real rookie.
So that's where we are. We're mid-battle, so we're gonna jump right into the fight.
Oh, we're battling right now?
Yeah.
So, Pipistrella and Clovis, the two of you are in this very narrow pass. Imagine like the Grand Canyon, where you can see the water lines on the stone beside you, ascending as high as you can see toward the sky that is filled with warmth. As the season of ember is upon you, you've lost track of your friends. A white, pale wind blows through the air above you, carrying the salt of the folk who had been cursed in the fields that you'd only seen momentarily. You can hear the sounds of the clattering of mail and swords, and your friend's screams for help. But the two of you are some number of yards back. You would guess you don't really know where they're at this point. That's where we'll pick up.
Sounds like they're all around us.
Where are we?
I don't know. But it sounds like they're in trouble.
All right, let's find them. I'll just.
I'm afraid when it comes to tracking, I'm all thumbs.
Just follow the voice. Pull my Zweihander and start running that way.
Okay.
Interaction.
You feel the slightest tug on your armor, as you can tell she's trying to keep up by holding on to you.
Okay. I'll tug her along then if I have to.
You're pressing through this very narrow passage between the stone where you can see, nearly 100 yards above, you can see the white clouds and the passing of white sand upon the wind, of salt, the air and taste of it.
Does it taste like soma or salt?
Salt.
That's a great question. Is there a difference?
Oh.
Yeah, there is.
Go ahead and make a scrutinize test. This test is going to be
Because we've all had it at this
it's
point.
gonna be
right?
routine. Yeah, some of us had a lot of it last session. Holy shit! How many corruption? 20.
26? 28,000?
So 71% chance, and I got a critical success.
Nice.
It does not taste of soma. It tastes like salt.
It is salt.
Yeah, like salt from the sea.
That's a good waste of it.
It reminds you of the West. It reminds you of Ghent. It reminds you of the ocean beyond. So far inland you've come.
Oh, it's very strange. It smells like the sea.
I'll say. I don't know much else about it, though. I am no priest of the Leviathan.
You're what?
I am no priestess of the Leviathan.
What is that?
Goddess of the sea.
Oh. I keep telling you the gods are dead.
Well, we must save them. But in order to do that, we must save our friends.
Alright. Let's do this, Pip. Let's find these fools. What Tomas gotten them into is at this point. You know it's his fault.
We know it's not mine this time.
You eventually emerge into where this kind of winding passage between the stones kind of widen, and they open up on the top of like a low mountain. And before you, you can see the blue atmosphere of your world, and upon its edges where the world has been sundered, the martyr's tears twinkle even during the daylight. These distant comets that hang in the sky, revealing the ring around your fair world. But your eyes turn toward the sky and toward the precipice of stone, where you can see your friends starting to pick through the remains of these tarnished soldiers, their armor teaked and ruined and broken from years of misuse or perhaps just being out in the weather. And beyond that, you can see this low cavern with this iron gate. And beyond the iron gate, you see these wide eyes of someone trapped behind it, inside the cavern. Seemingly, perhaps kept here prisoner by these strange ruined knights. But before your very eyes, you see one of the knights simply pick themselves up off the ground. And Pipistrella, you can feel the hackles on the back of your neck rise, like you could feel goosebumps. Your hair's... You know they are near. And in fact, that's where we turn next. To the battlefield. So, we know on the far end, here, we find Clovis and Pipistrella. Across the open air here, you can see that one of these knights has picked themselves up off the ground. Not far, just a few yards from them is, of course, your fearless leader, Thomas. Espillicent is kind of reaching down toward a shield she sees on the ground. She's kind of examining it. Your other friend Guillaume is, of course, there as well. He's picking through something. But they seemingly haven't noticed what's happening at this point. Clovis, Espillicent, you both get a surprise turn. What do you want to do? You're top of the round, Clovis, you're up.
This creature just got up on him?
Yeah.
And that's stairs?
Those are raised stone, so to get down them, it's 3 yards. So treat each black piece as 3 yards to get down.
Oh, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No. One. Sorry, let me be more explicit here. This is 3 yards. This one.
Oh, the whole piece.
Yeah,
Okay,
the whole piece.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you wish to descend down the stone, you can do so.
4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry.
You're fine.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
And keep in mind, it's hard terrain, so you can't charge through it.
Okay. Well, then I'll move down
It's hustle down.
and I can, since I have my Zweihander out, I can actually hit him, right?
Yeah, it has reach, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay. So
This
you
is 2 movements, so I'm gonna hustle for 2.
Yeah, so you hustle on over there, and you're just you're 1 yard away from one of these tarnished knights. What will you do?
I will hit him. Hit him good.
Okay. From out of nowhere, you see Clovis emerge with sword in hand, creeping slowly until he begins to pick up speed. And then his sword kind of clashes against the armor of the tarnished knight. It's going to be an easy test. They're surprised.
Easy test. Okay, so that's a 98% chance. And I rolled a 51.
Nice. Roll damage, add additional d6 for surprise. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Oh, that's ugly. 4, and I just changed this thing around. Let me find it on my other sheet. Hold on. 12 points.
As you come charging forward, your sword echoes off the back of the armor as the tarnished knight remains moderately wounded.
Oh boy.
Your sword bounces off the munitions plate that it wears as it picks up a shield and turns. It doesn't quite turn about in the correct spot, but it knows you're here now.
Okay.
Unless you want to spend a fortune point, turn it into a 6.
Sure.
It'd be that beautiful.
I'll turn the 1 into a 6. Do I get to re-roll that?
Yeah, you get another one.
Where are they?
That's
Where they go?
9.
9. Well,
I know you sat 'em down.
and
Oh.
7, 16.
17.
17.
Ah,
Well, I rolled another 1.
Okay.
good job.
All right.
I gotta bring these guys back.
The sword clashes against it, and the tarnished knight is now seriously wounded. Seriously?
Surus. For cereal.
Are these things coming back alive? We need to fire them?
We need to fire him.
Do we need to move the table a little closer to you? This table.
What's that?
Do we need to move this table a little closer to you?
No. Okay. All right. No, we're good. All right. Your sword crashes into it, and roll 2d6. Seriously wounded.
Nothing.
Okay.
Should have rolled those before.
The weapon finds purchase, and you find as the blade kind of crashes against the metal, there are sparks, and the thing seemingly stumbles forward, but there's nothing inside the armor. There's nobody inside of it whatsoever. It's like buoyed by some strange physical force underneath of it. The armor seems to move in a way that seems very unnatural. The plates kind of sliding against one another in unusual ways, like it's got strange musculature, if it was truly had musculature. It's just very, very mysterious and odd. Anything else you wish to do, Clovis?
I am out of stuff. So to go to Pip.
Yep. Pipistrella.
Go for the
So-
legs.
This one here narratively would look like it's dead, right? Because
You can see it's beginning to slowly kind of pick itself up off the ground. It too is seriously wounded.
And its armor is ruined.
well, I don't know
Yeah.
if I could tell that or not. Is that something that? Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay. So Pipistrella will ready her farming implement, her scythe that she has, at the beginning of her turn, and then she's going to hustle, I think.
Yeah.
So let's see if I have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I would have to stop there.
But you can't.
I can't. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to instead hustle for 1, as I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and she is going to raise her holy symbol aloft as she starts praying to the custodian, saying, "Go back through the well of souls with you, leave us, and may you find peace." As she attempts to cast Turn Undead.
Okay. What? It's a. Let me know. It's a lesser spell.
It is a lesser spell, and
Okay.
it's any one person you can see.
It's gonna be challenging.
Okay. Don't have the AP to channel, so Should I
You can spend a coin if you want.
spend a coin to channel it?
Sure.
All right. Here you go. Here's your.
Yeah, he's got all of
Yeah.
them.
Well, there's one
Alright.
left.
Let's channel for 2 steps to make it routine.
Cool. Routine it is.
And routine will be reputation. So 76% chance.
Nice.
And an 05 will do it. And we have a 6.
What happens with Turn Undead?
Well, with Turn Undead, after successfully casting the spell, as long as they are classified as a supernatural creature, you deal 2d10 plus willpower bonus in damage to a single foe.
Roll it.
Ooh.
Okay. I rolled a 2 and a 1, so that is 3 plus 7 is 10. That's it.
That's spell damage?
Yeah.
Does that work differently than...
It's up to the creature's traits.
Yeah.
If it doesn't do anything, it doesn't do anything.
Unfortunately,
Draw that on your card and make that a 10.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Can't do that. Nope.
There's D10s.
what's the spell say specifically about damage again?
I deal 2d10 plus willpower bonus and damage to a single foe.
Not enough.
Yeah.
So she raises her symbol before the Tarnished Knight, and the Tarnished Knight seems to be unabated by her words. However, also, you provoke some divine retribution.
Yes, I do.
You are now the Night Father's thrall. To make this happen, as you spend a fortune point to channel, you've been struck with a rash of ill luck.
Mhm.
After using a fortune point, you have to give. I get 2 misfortune points.
Okay. So what's it called again?
It's called Night Father's Thrall. So when you use a fortune point, I get 2 misfortune points for the rest of the session.
Okay. But because I have gained divine magic for the 2nd time in a row, we also need to test to see about a mark. Do we want to do that now, or
We'll do that, but no, we're not gonna do it in the middle of combat.
okay?
No, we'll do
so
that.
that's
at the end.
that's something that you'll see a little bit later. But yeah, let's go. Keep going.
Yeah. So you've called the gods you were not supposed to call to.
Mhm.
Somebody responded, and the Night Father has decided to take it out on you.
Yep.
Anything else, Pipistrella?
No, that's it for my
Okay.
turn.
Tarnished Knight A has an initiative of 9 plus 9, 18.
Oh, boy.
Tarnished Knight A, 18. It's already written down. Yeah.
Oh, you're doing them separate here?
Yes, I am.
Alright.
Okay. Tarnished
Let's
Knight
see.
A, I guess. And we'll put that. 14 for the other one, and Tomal will go before it, as well as Millicent. You need to flip your character. Flip your order there.
What's that?
You need to flip your order between Aspillicent and Tama. Aspillicent has a 15, Tama has a 14. Put the Tarnished Knight beneath 14. Yeah, the Tama. Yeah, player character's always.
Yeah.
So, you do this, and across the battlefield, you can see that the one that Pipistrella was trying to banish stand on its feet. And as they do, as their turn begins,
Oh, good.
they are now
Ah.
moderately wounded. And with that, you can see the knight's armor has been ruined. Like, it provides no protection at all whatsoever. It's beaten, it's imagine like battle damaging, man. Like, its armor is like bitten, broken, and torn and shattered, where it's been struck by really a square in the chest by
A flanged mace.
A flanged mace, like a big bashed hole between the breastplates. And with that, it stands up for 1 AP has coordination. And then it picks up the crossbow off the ground for an arbalist off the ground as our action point. And then it spends 2 action points to load that crossbow.
Oh, boy.
And then it takes aim for 1 action point. And then it fires for its final one. We call it a triple double. Red high.
It's like smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Launching the arbalist crossbow bolt toward Pipistrella
That's right.
Oh, boy.
It's gonna be
at
fun.
80%. I rolled a critical failure. I rolled 88.
Oh.
So
I started to hear success.
I rolled a critical. So the Tarnished Knight raises the arbalist.
Can I catch the bolt? I turn
mean-
around and catch it.
That would be cool, but
Dang
this is
it.
not an anime.
Hey, it can be whatever we want it to be.
I want to. So as it raises its weapon, if an ally is within 6 yards of the foe, they are struck instead. So as the Tarnished Knight fires the crossbow bolt, it goes poke off the rock right in front of it and strikes the other Tarnished Knight. And also adds additional d6 damage.
Ouchie.
Yeah, 8 plus.
Much success.
Great, 7, so 16. Wow. Grievously wounded is the other knight. Lightly, moderately, seriously, grievously. Yeah, so grievously wounded. As the bolt strikes him. Who wants to roll my 3d6?
No.
Oh!
Sorry, guys. I didn't do
The
it.
other Tarnished Knight is struck by the crossbow bolt, and that Tarnished Knight's turn is over. Clovis, it's back to you. You see the bolt kind of pin itself into the other Tarnished Knight before you.
Okay.
You're still standing.
And he's grievously
Of course.
wounded?
Grievously wounded right here, that's right.
Well, I'm going to take him out, and then I will burn him on the ground.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. So you want to just make a melee attack here?
I do.
Or do you want to crack?
I want to crack first.
Okay. See, pull out the Flamberger egg.
Yeah.
Chink! It begins burning along the edge of the blade. Forms back into the stone in your pocket. You put it in hand.
One for that, or?
One for that, yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure.
You activate your Sacred Remnant.
Then I will kick him.
Okay. It's going to be a standard test.
Okay. So 68%, and 52 does it.
Crash! The sword, you bring the sword down. Go ahead and roll damage.
I will use my last AP to make it punishing.
Punish! Okay.
Yes, there's a 6. 8.
Aces.
And another 6.
Yes!
14. And a 4.
18,
Woot.
18 plus 7, I think he's hit.
25.
Yeah! So, what do we see? Camera's on you. Camera turns toward Clovis and the Tarnished Knight.
I'll just take the sword and I'll slam through him, and I'll just wait until it catches. Once he starts catching, I'll slide it out.
As you do, the armor clatters to pieces all around, like this, completely disembodied. Nothing beneath but air that was buoying the armor to lift this Tarnished Knight to the air. As they have been officially dispatched.
What dude?
Fire! We forgot about that last session. Okay. Anything else, Close?
Nope, that's it.
It's Millicent.
Yep.
Your turn.
It's
We're
me.
handing off.
It's a me.
It's
Oh yeah,
me.
we'll do hand off. Sorry. Yeah.
No worries. I just want
Got ahead
to
of
do it
myself.
right.
We're gonna do this, Millicent.
So,
It's
all of this happened so fast. I'm crouching down, looking at the sword, and I look up and I go, oh. And
Widowmaker.
oh,
It's vibrating
and
in
you
your
know
hand.
I want it. So I'm looking at the guy who just accidentally shot his buddy,
Yeah. Crossbow
I'm
still
like-
low, visor still down, but bashed in pieces where it's been struck by a flashbang.
and I'm like, it's on. And I grab my Widowmaker, and I'm gonna
60.
kick that out of the way,
Haha! Get out of the way, shield.
and I'm gonna go to him. Is that
Where's
or that one?
Yep, there you go.
That one.
Now you're engaged with the enemy.
Now I'm engaged.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're gonna make a melee attack.
Thank
You
you.
wanna take aim first?
I want to take aim.
So that's one action point, and then one final one for melee attack.
I'm going to do my melee attack.
Okay. Your attack's going to be routine.
Okay. Hold on.
This is moderately wounded? Or seriously, you said?
Moderately.
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 Yeah.
Shook off some damage.
Yeah.
Cheater.
Licked his
65.
wounds or whatever it is for this creature.
And I got a 49.
That's good. Okay. Roll damage.
Roll the damage, yeah. 6!
Nice!
And 3. Plus
Move up anything. You're 2 up.
14.
That's good.
That is good.
Because its armor is ruined,
Yes.
2.
and because it leaves the shard of Widowmaker inside of it,
Yes.
it's been dispatched. What do we see?
So I had like looked up and I'd run over to him and I grabbed my Widowmaker because it was talking to me. And so what I do is I just bring it down and I slice him like butter. And kind of diagonally slice through his torso. And then I just put it right back and go with my
Iajutsu.
Yes.
All right. Well, with that, in short order, Clovis runs over with the with the sword in hand, with the Zweihander in hand, and dispatches it with fire. Kills him with fire.
Fire.
Nice.
So let me make sure that I know what's happening.
All of the Tarnished Knights have been dispatched properly. And at no better time than now did Pipistrella and Clovis kind of come up on your encampment. You can feel your heart racing in your chest. You can feel the wind whipping over you. The sky is open above. The season of Ember is here, the warmth. You can feel the heat of summer.
Smell like salt still?
Yeah, you can see the wind is kind of carrying salt all over. Like it's like a wind that you can see the granules of salt carrying the wind. From up here, in fact, when you look over the edge of this top of this kind of low plateau, you can see way down in the valley there are what looks like at first like this myriad of stone pillars. But when you kind of squint your eyes a little bit, you can see they're made of salt and they are people. Like a flock of people, like frozen mid-stride, all turned to salt. Beyond where these Tarnished Knights are, the story that Poe told you, of course, in this Millicent, you can see beyond the iron gates is this man. What do they see?
See a middle-aged man. Average height, athletic. Is it full gate or is it just like the little window?
It's a full
so they
gate.
can see. So they
Yeah.
can see. Okay, so this man, he. It is very clear that he has not had a good shower or good night's sleep for quite some time. He's covered in dirt and grime. His eyes are wide but dark circles underneath. His auburn hair is matted, and the way that he looks at you almost seems incredulous. He's sort of just blinking through, sort of blinking at you, and then sort of rubbing his eyes and looking again. And
Your captors have been dispatched. And you see other folk, other living people, just beyond the whipping of the white winds around.
are you real?
We're real. Are you a husk?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't call myself that. What is a husk?
Poor thing.
The dead that walk.
I wish. No, I'm a living man.
When you say I wish, the woman clear in the back who is carrying a farmer's scythe and is wearing this wimple on her head as she's like always fidgeting with it, small, like 5'5", young, steps forward and says, I understand that you were merely jesting, but that's not something that I would joke about.
I didn't say I was jesting. But
You do wish you were a husk?
no, that's not what I meant. Forgive me, this is a will question. What is a will?
It's something a nun wears.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you, sorry.
None hat.
None hat.
None hat.
Oh, yeah, none hat.
Yeah, this woman wears the habit of a nun.
Hey, what? You're a worshiper of some sort. Yes.
Clovis, as you look at this man, he smells horrible. His beard is long. He's probably not bathed or seen anyone who knows how long. His beard's almost down to his waist.
What gods still? What gods are there still left to pray to? Out there, what?
Well, worship is a strong word for someone who follows the custodian.
Oh,
You got another one to turn here.
there would be no turning here.
Are you are alive?
I am. Yes,
Are you a wizard?
my wizard. No, I don't think so.
I don't see any guns on him.
To be honest with you, I can't exactly tell you. I don't know that I can. I don't know that I can accurately tell you what I am. I've been a prisoner for some time. I believe they call me Tiberius.
Tiberius. Okay.
I got an easy fix for this. I'll hand you my water skin.
Oh,
He's not a husk.
No, you say you believe they called you Tiberius, so you're having trouble remembering.
which is what the song says. The song every night. It goes over and over each night. That's for years. And the name repeated. Hold on.
Well, while he's drinking, I'm kind of making the rounds
My goodness.
and checking out, kind of up on ledges and kind of keeping to the back of us,
Yeah.
keeping an eye on everything.
Song. The song is. I believe is about me. I suppose. I think it's a part of the punishment. He kind of wraps his hands against the knuckles against the gate here. Part of the punishment for something before, and I don't know how I know, but when the verse gets to the name Tiberius, I know that it is for me. You see,
Do you hear the song now?
no,
Okay,
no,
I was wondering
which is
if I was supposed to be hearing it or not.
No, I only hear your voices, your real voices. Yes, you aren't husks,
No,
right?
Um,
We've already gone through this. I'm
Not
sorry.
completely.
maybe. I think we all are.
Not yet.
I send my
Let's put it that
Ren
way.
to Pip, and I say, give me the word if you want me to strike. And I send my Ren to Pip because I'm still a little.
Little mechanical ring kind of flips
Yeah.
through the air and settles on the woman's shoulder.
You see this little mechanical wren sit, like Pip leans over,
Just curious.
and then you see her like touch her head and point up as if she's acknowledging someone. But this person is above you, so.
From the cave behind the bars, you can see no one but this nun, and then behind her, this dowdy-looking soldier who's armed to the teeth with a burning blade in hand.
I believe I left you some.
You
Water
can
is good.
finish it. I'll
Water doesn't
don't know
taste
what
as
we're gonna do about this.
salt.
It's your call. He's alive. He drank water. We're trying to figure out ways to.
We're led to
Water seemed.
We're led to believe that a wizard was up this way. Horrible sort. evil man or woman? Person. You know anything about that?
There's only one terrible person here.
And who's that?
Have you not heard this song?
I don't know what you're referring to.
Every night I hear the same song over and over. The plucking strings of a mandolin. The words. Every night.
I hear this and I kind of hover and crouch.
You've lost your memory, right?
I've lost more than my memory, I think.
Perhaps you were the wizard.
Perhaps. I've been called many things.
What's the song say? Do you remember what the song says?
Another man kind of emerges from behind Clovis, and you see this long lute made of hewn wood and bone. It's Guillaume holding this mandolin that he has recovered. You kind of weren't here for this, Pipistrel or Clovis, but he kind of is plucking at the strings. You mean this one?
Looks visibly uncomfortable. Yes, that's the one.
Slightly off tune.
He stops playing immediately as you say that.
Thank you. Been called Judge. The singer of the song seems to imply that I may be responsible in some part to my Lady Saint's demise and
Your Lady Saint.
Yes, the only god, one might say.
Oh, really? That's one I haven't heard before. I've heard they're all dead. I haven't heard that there's only one.
I'm not sure about the custodian or the others that, I remember their names being spoken, but I don't remember their miracles, but I remember the saint's miracles. I remember Carmen's miracles.
Does the name Carmen mean anything to you?
Absolutely.
Something to
Yeah, with
everybody.
everyone. This name she was believed to be a living god on earth, and she was crucified by the Mercadian Knights.
Yeah,
This is-
Adam
this is
knows.
the reason
but,
the red-
Yeah, Pipistrel would know this too.
This is the reason the Red
That's
Death
right.
happened. Basically.
Yeah.
That's right,
yes.
that's right, okay.
Yeah, I remember that, but I didn't know if Pipistrella.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, my initial thought is you're this wizard that we seek, but we have come to an understanding that a person's past these days matters less than his future, his present. So, to get your measure, you'll come with us. You'll view the destruction I think that you have wrought, and I'll see your reaction.
At this point, I come into view and I come close to Toma and I'm crouching and just watching.
What this person you think is a person, kind of gangly legged, almost walking like a frog, kind of emerges from down the stones, its long arms and legs kind of carrying it to the floor of the valley with this frightening looking wooden mask, holding with this blade held in its 3 fingers, like this blade that seems not be of a dark steel but an absence of reality. Like there's just a tear in visual reality where the blade is held in her hands.
Is this another torment?
I'm just here to protect my people.
I see. For 2 years I've heard my misdeeds sung to me over and over. I would like nothing more than to see what perhaps my actions have wrought, and to do something about it. I don't know what I know what they say, what the song says about me, but I know nothing beyond this cave. I know nothing of what the horrors have been wrought, I suppose. It's been a long time since I've talked to a person. My apologies, I'm not much of a conversationalist, but I would very much like to be freed, and I will go with you, and I will see what's been done, and if I can, I will do something about it. There has to be something that can be done. No man is beyond redemption. That's what the saint. It's one of the many things the saint told us. I remember that.
You know, we're not quite sure if this is true or not, but in either case, we will give you the opportunity to show your worth, show your measure.
What's the song say? What's the song say you did?
You saw the salt people down there.
Saul gathered by the precipice and brought Judge Tiberius. She was bought by decree, the saint dragged by the sea. The saint had brought Genesis and had defied the Imperious. I watched Common bring the Jubilee, caused the blind to see. And Tiberius, that's me, I said her blessings treacherous, misjudged by the Delirious. Common crucified for Mercadian glee, drowned by the Gentish sea.
Oh.
I
You started the Red Death. You're, I don't know if he is redeemable.
How many lives have we lived? Who are we to judge?
Hey, you're right. He's alive. That's her.
I don't know of this Red Death.
You'll learn soon enough then. Tiberius, your time in a cave has probably been a blessing.
That's one way to look at this.
Let's take him down.
You're the
If
boss.
if it comes to it,
I look at Pip.
you know what to do.
Yeah, you're the boss.
There are many things that have happened while you've been in this cage, if you truly are that Tiberius. And a lot of things have changed, and well, I have certainly not been perfect, even within the last month. I myself have done many a wrong thing. And we do the best with what we have. And I can't say if what you have done is redeemable. I can't even say if what I've done has been redeemable. So I think what's best, if you've been thirsting that much, you probably also have quite the bear of a hunger, and you probably need to sleep.
Spent a lot of time sleeping. It would be nice to have something to eat other than fungus. Whatever small things have crawled into my humble abode here. Could we do something about this cage here?
We could. You do know that betrayal would mean that this person here and that person there would be the worst of your worries.
I have no doubt.
I look at Clovis.
Yep. Okay.
I go
To you
over.
two.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Kills.
Yeah, young.
Please open the gate.
I'll open the gate.
It opens without fuss. Not a lock, not a key needed, no bindings, nothing. It simply groans open.
Takes him a moment, sort of looking at this and sort of looking at all of you, and before he takes a very hesitant step towards there, and as he crosses the threshold, he almost winces for a moment and like looks, eyes darting in all directions. Step out of the cave into. Is there?
It's like it's before the cave is kind of like this open valley.
This right there.
This open valley of tall stone escarpments. Not far from here, you see your captors, the two tarnished knights. Both of them gone, but they have seemingly left their armor behind and their weaponry.
Look at all of you. I assume you're all pretty well decked out and such.
I'm kind of decked out, but not really.
If we had to travel and things are as dangerous as you say, I'm going to start walking towards one of the captors, like one of the fallen armor and weaponry and such.
There'll be time enough for that. Let's get some rest. We'll bring it with us.
Sure. Right.
You
Right.
you begin to gather up bits and pieces of the armor. And remember, when you carry armor as opposed to wear armor, it's twice the encumbrance value.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much maxed out, guys.
So you have to
this is all
split it
you.
between the lot of you. There's 12 encumbrance. If you're not wearing it. Plus the shield and armor, but that's not all that important.
So
Yeah.
what is it? Munitions plate?
Yeah. Ruined. Well, one set's not ruined, I should say. A metal shield, an arbalist crossbow, 6 bolts, a flanged mace.
I'll grab the bolts. You can always use bolts.
6 bolts.
I imagine.
You realize you don't even know who these people's names are as you emerge from the cave.
I'm so sorry. You know who I am. Who are you? Liberators. I don't know what to call you.
Globus. That's it.
Oh, here's your water skin back, Clovis. I've drained it dry. My apologies. I just.
Yep. And now, as he hands me that, I'll hand him a day's worth of food.
Oh, thank you.
Rations. It's hardtack, but you're eating bugs and fungus. It's probably tasting better than that.
I put my claw on his shoulder and kind of push him forward to start walking, and I say, I'm a spillicent, let's go.
Sure. My apologies. Yes.
I'm so evil.
Have you seen my chaos?
Yeah.
I'm a little.
Toma Laurent.
Pipistrella Clavenger.
It's wonderful to meet all of you, regardless of the circumstances. It's I've prayed many times.
Which god did you pray to? The only god?
The only one who can grant the miracles needed by the people, or once did, I suppose. The Saint Carmen.
I get right behind him and start walking to kind of push us forward to get back.
You can feel the heat in the sky as you begin to descend down the side of this low mountain. And you can see, of course, that in the broad daylight that the martyr's tears hang beyond the atmosphere, beyond your world, marking where the blood moon once was. You know that the mirror will rise soon. The dusk will come by the time you return to camp. As you emerge from the mountains and head into the lowlands, you begin to see among the fields these flock, for lack of a better term, of people who were mid-stride on a great pilgrimage. Folk on foot, children, mothers, priests, soldiers, all walking kind of in a collection of them among the fields heading westward, but all frozen in time and all turned to salt. And as the wind passes over them, eroding their features, a great calamity has struck this place.
The whole desolation of Tiberius.
Yeah, Tiberius is probably. I don't know if you grabbed on him or just.
I'm right behind you, and
Yeah.
I feel like you paused, and I kind of give you a push.
No, he rushes towards the first
Does he?
statue.
Okay.
He sees this, and he it's sort of like maybe a pause just to maybe understand what he's seeing, but then he darts towards the first one.
There is a woman who is reaching down for a child that's perhaps no more than 5 winters of age, grasping at her skirts. She's looking down, but you can't see her expression because her expression has been eroded away. But the child's soft, pinched features are perfectly formed, unmarred by the wind.
What is this?
They say you did it.
I.
They say the wizard on the mountain did it.
Are these all people?
Yeah.
They look like awfully well-carved pillars of salt to me, but they could have been people at one point, I imagine. No sane artisan that I know would make such a sculpture.
Yeah, there's definitely tears in Tiberius, forming in Tiberius as he's sort of like taking this all in and like moving from one statue to another.
As I said before, your memory is eroded away. The past, I don't remember everything from back before.
Four. What is that?
We don't all remember from before either. We're not going to hold it against you as long as you maintain your humanity today.
You can feel that these people are struggling in a way that you are with your newfound reality. You can see a weariness among their faces. A familiar weariness that you had seen on the field of battle, and posted the fields of battle well after. The faces of those who had seen terrible things and wrought terrible things with their hands. You, too, see the look on this man's face, despite the fact that he is not shaven nor clean. He looks like somebody who was not only just surprised, but also caught in a similar paradox that you would face no more than a few weeks ago, when you had faced the first passage. When you discover the reality of where you're at, or what your reality is now. By the time you descend down the mountain and into the fields, night has fallen. And here, amid the fields of the flock, you can see, even this far out, you can see the firelight. And surrounding the firelight are 9 painted wagons drawn by oxen, kind of in a semicircle, and a number of folk are kind of walking back and forth between the fire. Faces that look unfamiliar to you, but the one that stands out, that you see almost immediately, is a man kind of sitting on a set of stairs, and his body is completely covered head to toe in bandages. And he wears a bronze mask that would be the face of a man. At his side is a woman with long black tresses and a midnight blue robe who's missing an arm, who is tending to this older fellow. The others who walk among the camp kind of pass by you, watching in awe and wonder, perhaps because they haven't seen another living soul in God knows how long.
I'm still real close. I go ahead and I put my hand back on your shoulder and I kind of guide you to a space and sit you down near a fire.
Right. Thank you.
And then I move back around and I do my normal watch the perimeter.
I was worried when we saw the people in the field that perhaps we were all that's left, but this is heartening. This is heartening to see.
There's not much left.
It gets worse.
This is it. This is home.
I do a quick round and I come back and I sit down. I kind of am much calmer than I was now that I'm back with everybody, and I kind of join the group.
Pipistrella was standing the whole time, and once you and everyone else sits down, she immediately goes to where the food and drink is and starts serving everyone.
A number of faces join you here in this camp, numbering 9 total, all with their own stories to tell, all with their own history. Some you've grown close to, others are still distant. But you have found another living soul. Their person who's alive. Bastion has grown by 1.
So, there's rules at Bastion. They're very simple. Work. Help where you can. And live.
Remember your humanity. the only thing that keeps us together.
Right. I can follow those rules.
We all struggle with the same things. No memories. And we've all seen things. We've all returned.
Changed.
I'm just kind of watching you.
Have you returned? You will know what that means once it happens.
When Tomas says the word changed, you notice something about everyone. They're all different in a way. Not features that don't quite fit human standards for the most part. Like Tomas' teeth are a little sharper than normal. His features are very pallid.
As I'm watching you, because I'm watching you very closely, you see a shimmer of red coming from the iris of my eye.
Oh, I forgot we had that. I put it down.
As Pipistrella hands you your food, you see
I don't
liver
think I was
spots
here.
on her hands.
Despite Clovis's young age, his hair is stark white.
That's what it was. Thank you.
Thank
Oh, that's right. Twin Peaks white.
That's right. Let's rock!
I think the changes that I have perhaps obtained in the time at least that I can remember, and it all sort of bleeds together. I mainly remember the cave. I remember the tarnished that watched over it, and I remember the song. I think that what's changed most about me is something that can't be seen. But I can't imagine. I can't imagine anything that becomes different about me will be anything that's not, I guess, for the better. I hope.
Let's hope so.
I have faith.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything from before the cave?
I remember her. I remember her words. I remember the kindness in her eyes. And I remember how it felt to hope, to feel something more than just the oppressive weight of existence, I suppose. Something larger than myself, something larger than those around me, those few that I never really made a real connection with, I don't think, until she came. But it's more like a feeling, really, less hard details, more, I feel like it's hard to distinguish between that which is dream and that which is truly something that happened to me. I don't know. I wish I had a better answer for you. I really truly do. I do not wish to sow any more distrust than I'm sure you already have in me. I don't know what to say.
If it makes you uncomfortable, don't dwell on the past. Let your actions in the present shine through. Prove your worth. Prove your humanity to us. And there'll be no problem.
Do you have any skills that you know of?
I got pretty good at clubbing rats and mice. I kind of holds up the flying mace that he had picked up and kind of gives a couple of test swings, not at anybody or anything in particular. I think I can swing that pretty well.
Do you see well in the dark?
No more than any other man.
Right.
Which I haven't seen this much light looking just all around in quite a long time.
Despite the fact that the vault of night has fallen over the camp, the twinkling of the stars from the spheres beyond makes the world seem wide and open and brilliant with light.
It's truly remarkable. We take it for granted until it's gone.
Your eyes squint as you look toward the mirror that's still growing in the distance, still hanging on the edge of the horizon. During the day, the martyr's tears are visible. During the night, they are a distant twinkling. But you can see it banding around Mahalma, on an angle over the horizon, over the zenith of the world, and arching like some great rainbow beyond the mountains, beyond the shadows, to the west.
So you climbed the mountain to find...
You.
Whoa,
To what purpose?
the wizard.
You.
The wizard.
We should tell him, right? You hear someone kind of pipe up from behind everybody else.
Is it Gil?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's holding this kind of wooden mandolin over his shoulder, like a rock star. He's holding it over his shoulder like this with a bent, kind of curved arm with the strings still attached. He's not, the strings are on the back, but you can see carved into the back of the mandolin is like a treble clef with like a song actually kind of marked, carved into the wood.
Leaning back from him as he approaches, definitely like creating a little bit of distance between me and this man.
Yeah, why did we go up there?
We thought this wizard may have some information regarding the Witch of the Woods of the Swamp.
Wizards, witches, that's what the world's come to. I remember just defending walls was a good day.
Squeezing more taxes out of fat merchants.
It was a good day.
Preparing bodies for burial.
It was a good day.
Serving drinks. It's good.
So, do you know about the Witch of the Woods? Or just the song? I think his mind is broken.
As I said, I believe that you need a good night's rest.
Like I said before, I think he's the wizard, but his memory is gone. It's good.
All right.
He's a good man now, I think.
Why don't we eat?
It will be.
Let's feed him and
You begin breaking bread as you're talking.
let's give him a good night's rest before we interrogate him.
Time heals all wounds, they say.
Because we will interrogate.
It's words behind a hollow mask, but they are no less. This
I got
person,
red sparkles.
This person does not show their face beyond this frightening wooden mask. But
And I'm not a person.
yeah, they look very unlike the others in the sense of the way that they move.
Spill a sense. Remember your humanity. Be courteous.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Let's let him have some sleep.
Tobias,
I think we all
eat,
need sleep after
enjoy
today.
the fire. Remember what you had for good days.
And we will talk
Hopefully it won't be a song.
in the morning.
Would you like some help sleeping?
Looks down at the flaying mace in his hands, and he just looks up slightly wide-eyed at you.
I apologize. You do not know of other gods besides the one god. Yes, my goddess, she is the goddess of death, dreams, and prophecy. And I can assist with that if she's not too fickle.
I'll stand over by the fire and you'll sleep forever!
Well, if
There's
it
a
is,
collective laugh in the camp.
if it is, she says, if it is his time, that's when she will take him.
I
Yes.
think I'll find a way to manage.
I'm just messing with you. She's harmless most of the time.
Most of the time. Watch out for her fist.
I say it's a good idea, but of course, it is your will.
I appreciate the offer. I think I'll find a way to manage.
As the curtain falls over the night, you find that Tiberius rests in the exact place that you had seen Poe, no more than just a night before, resting near the divot in the rock, near the fire. By the time morning comes,
Can I jump in and have someone heal me before the day ends?
sure.
What ails you?
You can just roll above board.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
I could perhaps help to take a look.
Oh, really?
You learn quite a bit about binding wounds when you're by yourself and have no one else to rely upon.
Well, since the jury is still out,
I understand. I apologize.
I'm still just looking at you.
Perhaps you work in tandem.
yes, what I'm. Let me finish my sentence. Since the jury is still out, perhaps if you would watch over what I'm doing and preside, let me know if I'm making any mistakes, or I'm not a master. I'm used to working on them after they're dead.
I would be happy to help anyway.
So, yeah, I'm saying I assume you're wanting to assist?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a rank in it.
Okay. So,
Where you at the damage
I
condition
am
track?
moderately wounded.
hand me your tens die.
Here you are, buddy.
Nope, wrong one.
Oh,
Other
shoot. Tens die. My
Yep.
apologies. Not the
Okay.
10-sided.
All the same. Well, routine heal
Routine.
with a bandage.
Yep. I'll need to. Does anybody have a bandage on them?
I have a tabard.
Oh, some tattered bandages?
Hang on. Let me see if I have. any bandages.
No, only
I thought I
ta-
gave
I have a
you
death
2
worm you can
bandages
use.
last game session. That was my last 2.
I think we used them, so
Look at you.
I have one. So
Okay.
I'll use that one.
Okay.
I only have 1 left.
Just like
Yeah,
lies
bandage.
running low.
We need to figure
Survival horror! You all figure something
bandage.
before, right?
69%.
You got it.
Nice.
07 because of the assist.
Nice.
I guess Pipistrella almost messes up.
You'll want to.
Do you have more than 6 points of intelligence bonus, Pipistrella?
I have an intelligence bonus of 5.
Okay. You move 1 step up the damage condition track.
Lightly wounded.
Nice. Everybody awakens to unhindered by the fire. The morning comes, and in the night was relatively brief for most of you. When you awaken, you find that Tiberius is still in a very deep sleep.
I kept watch most of the night. I don't sleep very often. But yeah, he didn't move.
I gotta sleep.
I sleep when I need to, which is very short. I don't need a lot of sleep.
Okay.
There is a fog across the Shepherd's Pass, is what this area is called. Shepherd's Pass has a fog that's kind of risen around it that intermingles with these strange salt statues. At some point when you begin picking things up and packing up the caravan, that's about the time that Tiberius awakens. You rub the sleep from your face and you find a wash bin, and you manage to shave off the long remains of your beard and clean your face and hands in the water they provided in buckets. As you look among the lot of them, there are others here, and all of them seem to wear or have a metal token either around their neck or lashed at their waist or somewhere on their person that would identify that they are all part of some collective.
Did you mention that you were watching Tiberius while he slept, by the way?
I was just keeping watch. I did sleep, but I tend to keep watch around the whole thing. So you were part of that.
I just wanted to interject real quick. You probably heard him singing himself to sleep. Singing
Gotcha.
that song.
Gotcha.
That's dark and terrible.
He also
You're out of cage, man.
he was humming to himself while sleeping.
On tossing and turning, then he started singing, and then that's when he passed
Yeah.
out.
I heard him, Keelam says, I heard him humming the tune we heard the night before.
Not all prisons are physical.
Well, he didn't want to accept my help.
Tiberius returns from washing. The light is blinding. as the sun begins to burn at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Just needed to get out of that rusty cage and run. I was waiting for it, man. I was like, it's the perfect one for you.
I recognized it as soon as you were saying it, but it didn't, yeah.
Simon begins to kind of amble into the camp. You see this man who's covered in head-to-toe bandages, and he's being helped by a much younger woman with the midnight blue robes that seem to be just as dark, even in broad daylight, as he's helping him walk about with this bronze mask over his face. Another joins Bastion. You hear him kind of say in a raspy voice.
Yes, I'm Tiberius.
Oh, yes. You see that Simon, this man who's small, perhaps 5'1", he walks up and places a hand around your arm, kind of like holding it, and you can feel warmth beneath the bandage. He nods kind of approvingly to the others and continues a pace among the camp as they're packing the caravans. An oxen master is already kind of lashing the wagons to the oxen. You can see a table where the fire once was and a massive calfskin map laying out across it.
I also just saw Suspiriansi kind of look out and go, and then walked away.
You guys are back. Oh, God.
And you see a woman in like what looks like a Renaissance ball gown dress that's tattered and torn and miscolored, like it was let out to the color to bleed away from it in the sunlight for a season or two. She's walking about the camp. Her hair is constantly a mess. She looks like she just literally crawled out of horror film. But she kind of chortles and snorts as you can hear a high lilt in her voice.
She's a little hottie, basically.
Yeah. She's the little definition of a medieval hot mess.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there are others here in the camp too, beyond Simon, but you'll meet them in time.
Well,
You feel from where you're at, Thomas, you approach Red Beatrix with the tattoo beneath of her lip.
Good morning.
Missing arm. I thought you may want this. She reaches out and you feel the warmth of her hand, but the coldness of the iron medallion that's in her hand. She places it into your palm. He is to be with us. Then he too will weigh in on the choices.
Yeah. Suppose so.
She pats your shoulder kind of warmly and continues on her way to join Simon.
I go over and I go, should we talk about this first?
You should have a say. Yeah, we all should.
I think we should discuss the implications of bringing somebody in that we're still not sure about before we make it official.
Okay.
I mean, he's alive, he's human, and we need more alive, but we need to suss him out.
Okay.
I heard that! You hear a woman with a high lilt say as she's crouching down behind a wagon, taking her morning constitutional.
Oh, Suspiriansi.
Alright, this is gonna be an awkward conversation. Pardon me. As I head towards Tiberius.
Is there sun in the sky?
Oh yeah, it's kind of bleeds into the clouds. Your eyes are not yet quite adjusted, but it rises in the east. You can feel its warmth on your face.
It's kind of just bathing in the sun, like
Morning.
morning. I'm sorry.
If you'll forgive me, if possible, could you wait here for a spell? And pardon if your ears burn a bit. We have to talk about you. In private.
I think if I stood here long enough, I would let all of me burn. That's not as dark, but I meant more the. It's been so long since I felt this form. Yes, I'll be right here. You can find me here.
Clovis, you can already feel sweat on your brow as you begin laboring about the camp. You all are joined. The four of you join privately without your newfound companion, Tiberius.
Well,
Turn toward Aspillicent.
you guys really believe those things? A wizard?
I mean, at this point,
We've seen so much random.
everything is up in the air. We died,
We did.
and we didn't. Wizard? Human.
Be he wizard or no, he's Tiberius now.
What if he did?
Unburdened by the past of his name.
That's what we've all agreed to.
What if he did all this?
What if he did?
I guess you're right.
Does it weigh his...
And we were told by a friggin' ghost, Guillaume reminds you.
It doesn't seem to weigh on his conscience. Well, it weighs on his conscience in a way that he's horrified by the misdeeds of a more evil man.
Do you know of everything that
I
you did in the past?
hesitate to pass judgment on this man. I wasn't the best in my previous life either.
I was.
Caused much
But you
suffering.
don't know.
I don't know.
That's the difference. That's what we've all given ourselves. That it's the easy. It's an easy out, but it's also how do you live without knowing? You just have to say the past didn't exist. The present does. Our actions while we're within the group matter. The actions prior to that have nothing to do with us.
And another...
I mean, if we're listening to the song, he caused the Red Death. Pretty sure it's a far cry from being true.
And another time, you, me, and everyone in Bastion will be seen as abominations.
We are abominations.
Before I had learned what I had, I would have not stopped until I would have murdered all of you.
Yourself included.
I would have been murdered in the process, yes.
You did
And-
try to murder yourself until I knocked you out. But you actually tried to kill yourself first.
I did. And then I tried again.
Yes.
And then again.
Right. That was when we decided knocking you out was probably a better path forward.
It was.
And remember, now we're on your path. Right? We're working for your god.
We have both changed towards what it right now seems like the correct path.
Pipistrella trips over her own ankle. A stone at the bottom of your boot. You didn't clean your socks out this morning. You have this nagging, bloody fingernail, too, that's been bothering you, been gnawing on all morning. A rash of bad luck, perhaps.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you make a good point.
I mean, it's what we've all agreed to, right?
We'll keep him on a short leash for now. If he
You give me the word.
has any funny business, he'll have us to answer for.
He's got funny business.
You know what I mean.
He's fucking crazy.
You know what I mean.
I mean, he's been locked in a
If
cage,
his fingers slip,
eating rats.
Yes! The man is touched!
Touched.
If
That's
you
the
don't
word I was looking for. Thanks, Gil.
if we sense his humanity slipping through his fingers, we'll be there to catch it.
All right.
Okay.
You sold me. I immediately go to him, and I pull out my Widowmaker,
Find him. He's just staring.
and
at
I
the
just kind of like put it against my mask, and it goes.
I love this. You gain 3 corruption as you continue to torment Tiberius.
And I put it against my mask, and I say, "We've come to an agreement." And I put it back, and I back away, and I let Tomo.
Well, thank you for allowing me to see the sun one more time before it ends.
No. She's goddamn messing with you, man. You're welcome to
Yeah,
come and stay. And you
if
just
they're-
gotta earn, man.
They
Give me
leave
your
for the executions tomorrow.
I can earn. I can.
Let me see your hand.
You see that as he gives you his hand, you can see that there's a birthmark across his hand. It looks like a spider, like oddly like a spider, like creeping along his hand. And he goes,
As I grab your hand and
His
give
hands
it,
are heavily calloused, by the way.
give it a healthy shake,
I
and,
see that.
within my palm is one of those coins that you saw right there. One of us now. Don't fuck it up.
That's pretty much it.
if it takes me the rest of my life, I will ensure that I will not fuck this up.
Oh, you may be in for more than you bargained.
Yeah, we're off to see the witch.
We're off to see the witchy.
Hold.
You save the rest of your life, but it may be more than one.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm still staring at you.
You just respond to that comment. You gives that look of like, yeah, sure.
You see this fellow with the long shock of red hair and this kind of square-looking jaw, who's a perpetual 5 o'clock shadow like Fred Flintstone walk forward. He's walking with an ambling limp. Well, God damn it! I suppose we're going to continue onward. That's going to be the case. Then maybe we should recast that vote, Master Toma. Stahl says.
Okay then.
Welcome to Bastion, the man says.
Hey, Stall, that's Tiberius. Tiberius, that's Stall.
Ah, all right then.
I don't like many people, but I like him.
Are you also one of the fine warriors?
No, Stall's our craftsman, our keeper, our drinking buddy.
Kel Smith, what they used to call me, I suppose, till I got horse kicked. Now I just do what needs to be done about the camp.
Look like a handsome and very capable man.
Well, you know, I got all the eye of all the ladies here in Bastion. He flips back his Fabio style long hair, where it's like he has like the 80s like the short bangs and it kind of feathers along the side of red hair.
This is the guy that I played.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You played Stall. Yeah.
My luxurious lux can be seen from nearly
Right.
10 yards away, even by the most blind of women. They can smell my great musk even from across Bastion.
Mm-hmm.
Pipistrella laughs and touches his arm.
Certainly do.
I go find Puck. Puck.
You don't find him anywhere. He seems to be out and about doing something.
Puck.
Oh, I shade, by the way. My big crazy unkempt beard is now like a very as neatly as you can with a neatly trimmed goatee.
Excellent. Can we pause?
You all live here now. We're back. So Stahl, he kind of flips his hair back, his luxurious red locks. The wind blows just right through it. My musk smell all across the Bastion. He walks about, continuing his business. He joins the ox masters. They're still preparing the harnesses and such, but you see that the others have collected before the table where there's a massive calfskin map, and there's these set of iron scales.
And I'm already at the map.
What are we voting on today? Going forward? Going left?
Well, as I point towards the map, we're here, Shepherd's Pass, and we're gonna head west along this way towards Sodden and Puel.
Well,
That's
we
into
gotta
the
vote.
that's into the swamp. I worry for these wagons. Hopefully the road keeps, or it has been kept. Does anyone know anything about the way ahead?
I don't necessarily know about the way, but I can get us through it.
Fair enough.
Maybe you should enlighten our new friend here exactly what sort of shit you're about to get him in.
Well,
The short version.
short version is
witch in swamp?
The Red Death has ravaged this land and robbed its inhabitants of their humanity. There are forces at work that are keeping things the way they are, and we aim to dispatch them, hopefully uncursing this land. That's the short version, right?
Well, we believe that they've trapped the custodian.
Now we're getting into the metaphysical. Anyway.
Which is why people don't die.
Yes, but
People don't die.
we're
Well, they
there's
do,
these
but-
there's these lieutenants in charge, and I don't want to bore you with the details. There's a witch in the woods that we're looking into. There was a man back there when we were in the city with a big hat. The Baron
Hat guy, as Clovis called him.
Cat guy.
hat guy never did get that damn hat.
I really wanted that.
I really wanted that hat. But we heard word that there was a witch in the woods, or in the swamp, out by Sodden and Coil. As he gestures toward the map again. That's where we're headed now. From her, hopefully we'll learn where to go to next.
Yeah.
So look at this map. Is there any other route? Or was it the
As
only way?
you kind of pour over the map and your eyes are drawn immediately to the far west, you can see the capital of Ghent by the sea. The city feels familiar, but looking at where you're on the map, you have no idea how far it is away.
I'm just kind of distracted by that city, the capital city. I'm just kind of running my fingers sort of along that area.
Yeah.
You know this land? Can you reckon anything about the road ahead?
No.
It's all gone. I see.
Again,
It might come
That's-
back.
that's it.
Best not dwell on it too hard.
You can see that there are a few kind of marks on the map that you can recognize that have been inked onto it. The first is a place called the Forgotten City that is east of here. Another is the cathedral even further east. From where you're at, Shepherd's Pass. To the west, there are only 2 points on the map. A place called Sodden and Poil. And then further west from that is Ghent, the capital. A place that you would have called home at one point, perhaps, Tiberius.
Toma points towards the city. We came from here, and then before that,
There.
there, as he points towards what looks like a church,
The cathedral, yeah.
cathedral.
All roads lead to Ghent.
All roads in Galleon do lead to Ghent.
Well, excellent. Swamp it is.
Prepare to get your trousers wet.
Look forward to it.
Is there anywhere I can get some bandages? Does anyone have any that you know in town or in
Town.
In town, in town.
The answer is no.
No.
So we are completely out of bandages.
Yeah,
Well-
you killed who became your apiary, Brother Walter.
So
You didn't know, to be fair.
if it
Can we
comes,
ask Franklin to go find some out in the wilderness somewhere and just pick up some random
there's
bandages?
no flowers. There's not going to be any bees around here, but maybe in the swamp. We'll keep an eye out.
All right,
If worse comes to worse, we'll tear up some old cloth.
I've got a tabard we
It
can wash.
didn't quite clean, but it's better than dying.
It's true.
Is there a way to make bandages?
Yes. You can
Yeah,
get
you need honey.
We don't have any honey.
That's what Toma was referring to when he said to keep a lookout, because there's no bees around here that you can see, or here for that matter.
Is that one of those things that can only be made by like somebody with a heal skill or something?
Yeah, they can if you have the honey and the cloth.
Right. You know, I didn't know if the skill was a prerequisite also. So
Yeah, it is.
If we can find the.
have
Tiberius is
an
looking for ways to be useful.
We have an apothecary that's part of the group.
She's another Siabra.
Oh, I too.
She,
We'll get to that.
She needs honey.
Yeah, we need honey.
I was saying I too can. with the right materials, I believe I should be able to.
Craft bandages?
I believe so.
Enough dilly dallying. Let's break camp and get him going.
Let's
Right.
go.
Alright.
So, if you intend, sorry, go ahead.
Can I put my armor on now? The armor that we carried back, or the armor?
Indeed.
Oh yeah. There was a
There's munitions plate.
shield, right?
There is a metal shield. There's an arbalist crossbow. There's a flanged mace. There are 6 bolts that Clovis already took. And perhaps you recovered some soma as well.
Did we grab the soma?
Well, let's find out. 2 were slain by fire, so who slew them both? I guess would have been
Clovis.
Yep, so Clovis, and you roll 1d6. And then Espilson, you can roll 1d6.
I got a 6. I
Nothing.
didn't get anything. You remember you
3.
went low on this one.
Nothing. No soma to be found.
If there are no objections, I was going to grab the plate, the mace, and the shield.
What's the shield give you?
Metal shield? Metal shields are defensive, light, pummeling, protective.
Toma is carrying the other shield that the other one was carrying.
I think
Right.
I
Go
had
ahead.
talked about the
That's fine.
crossbow,
Sorry to
but
interrupt that.
my encumbrances. Yeah,
I
my
have no use
encumbrance.
for any of that.
How heavy is the?
He seems to wear the armor with somebody who is familiar with the ways of war, Clovis. This is the Dune Whisper. He wears the armor like he's familiar with the ways of war.
You can unload some
What's-
of
yeah.
your belongings. With
Yeah, what's
some
the
of-
encumbrance of the arbalest crossbow?
It is in the red book. I don't answer trappings questions any longer.
The arbalest crossbow weighs 3 encumbrance.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I could have told you that I have one.
Price of 5 gold coins.
Sorry.
If that, I don't know if.
Because
costs
I'm thinking I might
that loading.
ditch my staff, but that's an encumbrance of 2.
Yeah.
Because and then
It's
also.
fast and punishing.
You just use Widowmaker all the time.
Well,
What's
yeah, it's
do
true,
you
but I
have-
want a ranged. I would like a ranged weapon.
Do you have martial ranged skill?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't.
Probably not the best idea.
Shoot.
If you
Flip
flip
to
to
fail.
fail to use.
Oh shoot!
Then you
Not
know.
shoot. Very well.
Literally.
Aha!
Oh.
Okay, then yeah, I'm good. Never mind.
So, I know you don't remember everything, but do you remember your doing? And that's an extremely personal question that she asked.
He looks at you, says, and just locks eyes, and the most dead serious face. The heathen will cut you down.
Oh,
Thank you for telling me.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
Did you say you gave me an arbalest crossbow?
Yeah, nobody else can use it. You seem to be able to carry yourself martially.
Yeah.
All right,
I've been
and we'll
skilled
put it on.
we
We'll
could put it on a
the
cart.
No, we'll put it on the card.
Then the danger wagon it goes.
Put it in the danger cart. Put it in the
Danger cart.
Danger
I
cart.
don't need to worry about me.
Can we wood burn some flames into the danger cart on the next step?
Danger cart! So yeah, you're outfitted. Flange base, metal shield, munitions plate. Get everything you need.
I was looking at the word heathen because I completely forgot. My brain was. I was thinking like I'm hoping.
Ooh, is it?
Contextually, I think I'm using it right in my mind, but I'm gonna make dead.
Did you look
certain-
up the definition? I love definitions. Can you tell me?
Oh yeah, sure.
A
Sorry.
non-believer.
A person who does not belong to a widely held religion, as regarded by those who do.
Yeah,
So
that's,
as this religious person of a different religion asked me,
and she goes, "Oh, you don't need to worry about me then."
Are there any other preparations you wish to make before you depart?
No, not for me.
Okay, we're gonna need to start another wilderness travel as you're going to a new place.
As I move.
So we need first our guide, folklore and navigation. Who wants to be our trailblazer?
I will.
Okay. We need somebody to be the survivalist who will manage foodstuffs, track wildlife, attend to other duties to increase the comfort of the camp. It's healer survival.
You want to do that, or you want me to do that?
I could try to help.
If
You want to help, or do you want to be the lead role in that?
I think it'd be weird if I said I'll take the lead right now. I'll help.
Was that you, or was that just a clever timing?
You'll never know.
So Pipistrel says, "Yeah, stick with me. We'll take this on together."
Certainly.
Okay.
Who's going to be the survivalist? I'm sorry.
Yum.
Pipistrella will be, and
Okay.
Tiberius will be assisting.
And then finally, we need our scout, awareness or stealth.
I can do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, the good news
Everyone
is that this is actually getting there. Will take some number of days, but we're gonna walk through it. We're gonna go through it together. We're gonna do it slowly. We're gonna depart now. All right.
It's the Bastion music.
That's right. Spillicin, you are our guide.
That's right.
This is a place you've never been to before. Now, granted, you're heading through Shepherd's Pass, which is a great field dotted with mountains and such. But the stars are clear. Now that the season of Ember has come and the warmth of summer has fallen, it's fairly easy to see. There's not a lot of rain, not a lot of ash falling in the sky like there was before. It will be a standard test. Folklore navigation, up to you. Standard.
Yeah, navigation. Same thing. Okay. 39?
Sometimes.
This song is really familiar. Is it from 28 Days Later?
It's from Bastion, the video game.
Oh. Never played that.
There's a vocal version of this track too, and I'm always waiting to hear the words, and it never comes.
You will.
That was a fail.
Oh, perfect. Want to reroll that?
Yep.
Thank you for refreshing
You're welcome.
tokens.
34, and I needed 39. Pass.
Hey, that's good. Well, the good thing is that as Spillicin will, now using the map and the stars, will actually find an easier path to Sodden and Foil, which is good. So that means your
Damn
tests
it.
now are routine.
A less squelchy road.
I
Yeah.
passed the first one because I forgot the azimuth, but what
Yeah.
that's okay. I learned by doing and failing.
I learned by doing.
I learned by failing.
Right. So this is going to be a bit of a path for all of you. Let's see how well you endure the trip. It's going to be a routine survival or toughness test to withstand peril. Physical peril, to be clear.
Say that. Sorry. Say that again.
Yeah, it's going to be a routine survival or toughness test. You're going to
Okay, gotcha.
withstand the rigors of the road.
13, you said?
Yep.
Okay, 62.
78.
Any reroll?
Success.
Oh.
You want to reroll that?
Nope. Cool.
Okay. No crit fails?
Nope. Just regular
Not a crit fail.
Just a regular old bad
Alright.
fail.
Well, it's going to be some peril. Peril. I'm going to think so real quick.
I'm periled. Okay.
All right. Both of you on this trip are going to suffer 16 physical peril.
Oof. Hold on.
6.
Can I use long-winded at this
Which
point?
is?
Long-winded. When you suffer physical peril, reduce your peril condition track by 1 less negatively.
Absolutely.
So instead of going down 2, I'll go down 1.
Yeah.
That's why I'm imperiled.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a very good one.
Yeah.
Very good trait.
So your trip is going to continue over a period of days, and among all of you, Pipistrella, assisted by Tiberius, will be seen to the camp. Pip, you will need to make a routine healer survival and gain an assist die from Tiberius.
Okay.
I believe in
you. Will be
Not in your god, I believe.
69.
Nice.
And 15 because the assist.
Hey, I helped.
Heyo!
You
Well, this is
should,
good.
Mike.
That means that you're not going to spend too many provisions along the road. You'll have more than enough to make it to Sodden and Poil, but at that point, your provisions will be you'll be out of provisions. You'll have to re-provision it, Sodden and Poil. And then finally, we need our scout, who is Clovis, to make it a routine awareness or stealth test.
Awareness 61. You said routine. You guys want me to roll that? I failed it.
Yeah.
It's a critical success.
Yes.
Nice.
Well,
Well,
roll.
the good thing is that the path along here was not very dangerous in the first place, and you managed to avoid what you could have watching through the fields here in the swamps. You found some scat that you suspect may be from Zentish water panthers. So
Stay away from those.
it is not long until the fields turn to wetlands.
Can I hunt one of those for food?
It's a very short but long, very short of stature but long in the tail and muscled lizard with a scaly hide.
It's like a crocodile that can
Very
stand
with lots of with a toothed maw.
Oh, okay.
They
I
live
didn't
in
know what that
swamp.
was.
They typically live in swamps
Or sewers.
or sewers. Yes, they live in sewers a lot actually.
Yeah.
Nasty beasts.
Yes, they are indeed. So, at some point or another, you abandon the Shepherd's Pass and you head into the lowlands. And when you enter the swamps, kind of everything changes. Where once the green warmth of the land was resplendent all around the caravan, you're now surrounded by the bleakness and murk of the passage to Sodden and Poil. In fact, the change happens fairly rapidly as the greenness of the grass becomes fairly dark and drab. Everything's just waterlogged through here. The trail, in fact, toward this place that's called Sodden and Poil suggests wrongness, misery, impending doom. Mosquitoes buzz all around as you bat at them. Tall mangrove trees reach toward the sky but are stunted by the great vines that try to drag them back down into the earth. Pools of muck and low grass and heath kind of burble every once so often as a variety of creatures, mostly bullfrogs, linger among the swamplands. It gets hot and balmy, and everyone who is wearing any armor with the heavy quality needs to now make a challenging toughness test.
That's you too.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Success.
Much success.
Okay.
Not good. Not a critical, not good.
11 physical peril.
Damn skeeters.
You can feel the heat and just the general uncomfort of all of. Oh, you need
You realize I have any
pins.
clips?
Yeah, for sure do.
Didn't even think about that until this very
Yeah,
moment.
I gotcha. You can feel the heat pressing down.
I need another clip.
Green for your peril, and then red for your damage.
Thank you.
You need
Thank
red
you.
and green. Sorry, Tim. Is it red and green or red and yellow? You can't see.
It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna put it over. This one's over here.
So that's your damage. Okay, you got
This-
two though.
This one's yeah.
Cool. So now you have two you need
Yeah, I
another
have
one.
no idea where my other one went.
Okay, cool.
Remember to give yourself a once-over when you doff your armor this evening. All sorts of nasty varmints in these swamps. Leeches, ticks, skeeters, who else knows what?
If you find leeches, those can be quite good for bloodletting.
Yeah, but not too comfortable when you got one sucking on your leg half the day and you can't get at it because you're wearing a greave.
Right, of course, yes. Sorry, yes.
Well, if you find a leech, I'll put it with my death worm.
See that as he's walking around the way you're talking to him, he's kind of just like has his hand to his chest. He's been murmuring to himself.
Yeah. Tomah wears a full, like, helm that, like, covers his whole head, and you can kind of just see through this slit. You've noticed that he can't quite... His range of vision isn't quite as good as everyone else's. He relies on everyone else to kind of lead him along to a degree.
Among the camp, those who've been in Bastion know well enough that Alma, your apothecary, is gathering leeches along the ponds. As for you, Tiberius, you've not yet met her, so it's not important to recall her name, but eventually at some point the wagons come to a slow crawl, and you can see what effectively looks like a crossroads, a muddy path that splits in twain. One sign says Sodden. It has the number 22 crossed out, and beneath that it says 13 souls. The other sign says Toil. It has a 19 that's crossed out and says 0 souls.
Let's go to Sodden.
I don't think these oxen can get much further now, Stahl says, as he and the oxmaster have been working them. The wagons ain't bonding them out here, Master Tomal, but, I mean, we can keep pressing on if you want with the wagons, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Like the road isn't going to hold it? Or
Well, the
it-
mud's sucking at it. You can feel it in your boots. I know you got some nastiness probably in your socks already, but we can continue if you want. I mean, I can see the damn path. It's just going to take us a while to get there, and things go miss.
I say we strike camp here. We make a decision about what to do next.
All right, then let's bring it to a stop. Stahl kind of goes back toward the rest of the wagons that are being drawn by oxen. I'm imagining carnival. You stop here, and you can see that the signs that point both ways both say half day.
So I jump out, and I'm very nimble on this terrain. Like you could tell, I've walked this kind of terrain a lot. I just kind of...
You remove your boots, and you find that your feet are comfortable. You feel the wet, cold squishiness of the mud between your toes. You see her kind of curl her toes into it like one would in sand in the city of Ghent. She kind of curls her 3 toes inside it and begins walking around.
I'm very comfortable.
What about half day? Is that what you said? It was about a half day?
Half day travel.
It says right there, half day to both. There ain't nobody alive in Poil, it looks like, Stahl says, like it seems if it wasn't already obvious on the 2 wooden signs.
Maybe it would be a place where we could set up.
Where's this witch? Which one was the witch in?
We ain't got no sign that says which this way.
Well, I got that stall, thanks.
Which way? He said.
I mean, did you guys ever find out where the hell this thing's supposed to be? Which side of the... Which town?
It's a witch in the swamp. That's all we know.
Are we certain that that's what the sign means? The 0 souls and the 13 souls. Are we certain that that's a population count?
You know as much as I do.
Pretty standard.
Is that how things are?
You ever seen a population sign?
Did we?
I mean, I know you're in a cave, but for God's sakes, you lived outside of that cave at some point. And I know you don't remember anything, because we don't remember anything, but...
I thought they were
I don't
biomarkers.
need to be harsh on
I'm
those
sorry.
that can't read.
Okay. Oh, maybe you can't read. I didn't think about that.
No, I can read. My apologies. I was thinking mile markers.
Mile mark.
My apologies.
What's this half day right there?
time marker.
Yes.
Where
I
were we headed? Did we
didn't.
say?
We head to the swamp.
Just swamp.
Which
all we
which
got.
of the swamp is what we know.
Sod and Poil is what we were told. Not that Sod and Poil were separate.
Ah,
I think we're gonna have to check out both.
well,
Should we go where the people or supposed people are, according to this population
We're gonna
sign?
need food soon.
All right,
I want to go.
calm down, everyone. Too much going on here. Let's just settle down for the night. Think on it. Decide tomorrow morning. Get me out of this goddamn armor. as he beckons anyone who will help him to doff the armor.
I'll help him.
You complete your wilderness travel. Fortune refreshes.
And I'm just kind of playing in the mud. Like I'm very I'm not staring at you. I'm just kind of like joyously just through the mud.
You notice there's a rather androgynous looking young woman who's been walking along the caravan who you've not yet met, but she has an undercut with this long reddish hair flipped over to one side with these striking silver eyes. Every once in a while she walks up to Clovis and speaks softly. She carries a hunting bow at her side. She's now rejoined the camp.
Who's that?
Why don't you go introduce yourself?
You got a token now. You're a voting member.
Do you need someone to stand with you?
No, it's fine. I just need a moment. He's kind of like struggling a little bit with like he's sitting and like kind of pulling at his breastplate a bit. I should introduce myself. Yes. Yes. I'll go over and walk over to her.
So a lithe-looking woman, with a squarish jaw, and her skin has been clearly touched by the sun over a number of years. She probably spent outside. You can see that she has these long crow's feet around her eyes. Her hair has already begun to turn silver underneath as well with her advanced age. You must be Tiberius.
Yes. That is what I am called.
I am Gretel Fletcher.
I am so sorry. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh.
No, I'm not sorry that you're the Fletcher.
She clears her throat. I am Gretel the Fletcher. Her voice doesn't seem to be much louder than that.
Gretel, it's wonderful to meet you.
I was ranging with Clovis.
He's a fine man, Clovis. Strong of arm. Carries water.
Something's been bothering me. She kind of takes 2 steps forward.
A lot of things have been bothering me. Yes.
Not just the weather.
Oh.
This song? A friend of ours, Bastion here, she leans in. Guillaume, she whispers his name. He and he motions toward Thomas and a spell symbol, they're nowhere nearby. Convalesced fireside in the Shepherd's Pass with a troubadour. She called herself Poe. She told us the story, a story, about, you. And she played this tune she kind of mimics playing a mandolin.
Tiberius winces a little bit.
You know this person, Poe, was gone in the morning, but she left the mandolin.
I've noticed the absence of the song at night.
She too was absent the following morning.
I never met the woman.
Well, it's not oft that a wandering minstrel would simply leave their instrument behind.
I had a thought in that cave as the song you ever hear like the first you ever hear a song that you know and you hear the first verse of it, and perhaps it's been a while since you've heard this song, and you know that there should be more beyond, yes? But you can hear somewhere, and the song continues, even if the words can't come forth. I always felt that song was not, the portion that I heard each night was not all. And I began to wonder, why just the one verse? Why just the one verse to remind me over and over and over again of my sins, echoing my own misdeeds to me? Why?
Master Tomas said that all prisons are physical, but you were clearly kept in a cave, in a cage that was unlocked.
But watched by two very capable.
Whose adornment you now wear? She gesticulates with her hand.
I suppose I do.
Strange paradox. A man trapped in a cave whose door was not locked. Led to find a wizard and to learn that he is not one at all. And this song by some wandering bard who would leave her instrument behind.
I don't know that was a bard.
Your ears kind of perk up at this conversation, Pipistrel, as you're kind of on the edge of the camp.
I think of her, I suppose, more of a torment, more of a punishment, an echo of my deeds, for me to be reminded constantly. It is fitting that my liberators have picked up the mandolin and brought it with them, I suppose. It's sort of an irony in that, from my perspective.
Fortunate so that you were the iron raiments of your captors. If you so seek to escape this internment that you suffered.
I don't know that I have earned escape. If what the song says is correct, if I directly or indirectly had some part to play in what happened to Saint Carmen, well, I don't know that I should ever be freed, I suppose.
You know what that troubadour told us that night?
No.
That there were three. And among them was a Mercadian official by your name that had fled Ghent after what had happened to the Saint. I, too, have walked with Carmen. I'm sure we'll have more to talk about in time.
You're sloshing as Pipistrella is walking over.
These torments you talk about, these echoes, I have seen them too.
So I see you two have met.
It's a pleasure.
Yes. Yes, I tried to use some of her implements, but I found I was no good at it.
While my mind is quite sharp, I find that my fingers are quite dull, I suppose.
You'll have to forgive Pipistrella. Her weapons may be blunt, but her words sharp, her faith even sharper. She would ought to see everybody dead. That's what her god commands.
Oh.
Yet we have defied that very death.
Or sleeping, dreaming.
We all go to the custodian when it is our time, and it is obvious that it is not our time yet.
That is all well and good. I do not want to be at her threshold.
I don't want you to be at her threshold either, not before your time. It's not for me to decide.
See what I mean? She turns about and walks away. You're not really familiar with everything they were talking about, ins and outs, but
Yeah.
at this point, Gretel kind of excuses herself.
Hope to speak with you again.
The camp gathers. as a day has passed, you all recover to unhindered. As you're at this point, kind of the coaches or the wagons are there.
What did you say?
I didn't say anything. I just
Big
smiled and
smile.
looked at him.
Okay.
Creepy smile.
It's one of
This
those
is
moments that just happens
That's awesome.
Yeah.
in real life.
That's
That
awesome.
Like,
it doesn't have to make sense.
yeah, she's oblivious to what she walked
Okay.
into,
Uh,
or at least acting like it.
Aspillicent's off in the distance and kind of sees something, and she whispers into her wren and sends it over to Pipistrella. And it says, "Why do you look so weird?"
Rude.
You just sent her.
Well,
Espelsa just sent you a tweet.
Yeah, yeah. Why does a tree grow leaves or pine cones?
You notice there's been a flock of crows that settle into the trees above. They come about a few hours. They come about a half hour later beyond the after the caravans, but a flock of crows kind of settled into the trees.
You mean murder
Franklin?
of crows.
A murder of
Yeah.
of crows.
No big deal, it's just a murder.
It's
I
a
mean-
murder.
It's just
Like, oh my
A murder.
god. I wonder if I can ask Franklin if he could find us some bees.
I don't think you'll be asking Franklin much of anything.
I could ask for you.
Hey
he's a
Pip,
goddamn bird.
can you ask Franklin
Small
if he can go see if there's any bees in the area?
Franklin.
You're asking about the birds and the bees?
A black bird kind of settles upon the end of a stick that Pipistrella is holding, and caw, caw, caw is what you hear, and it's like, to all of you, it sounds like a bird cawing, but to Pipistrella, hey, my favorite lady.
My favorite raven.
You got some blueberries for me.
I do.
Oh, yummy, yummy.
Finding me.
Caw, caw, caw.
Yeah, like she just like randomly
magically
pulls
has-
these blueberries out of her pocket.
And she's
like,
talking to the bird, but the bird is squawking.
and it's like, man, she didn't offer me any blueberries.
I know I can rely on you.
Well, I keep them just for you.
Yeah,
Like,
me
she
and the
says that
boys,
out
you
loud.
know, we came this far. Plenty of food to eat around here. Lots of bugs, lots of worms.
Speaking of bugs,
Yeah, I'm gonna get real fat out here.
good. You see my friend over there, Spilson?
Yeah, that three-fingered freak. Yeah.
Oh, be kind. Like, and she just talked about you in front of you, and then she's like, "Oh, be kind."
You know this.
You
You know
at least
that.
catch
You know
that.
that those people have things against us. You know they kill us with stones and slings and whatnot. See us as bad omens.
You don't see him as a bad omen, do you?
No. Ravens? Well, I count on ravens when I go on my navigation trails
You can't trust them. I mean, look at the shifting in her eyes.
as I sparkle with red.
Yeah. Well, that's something that's new.
Knew my right wing.
But she does bring up a good point. Do you know what bees are?
Yeah, I got talked about that when I was Still just a little flockling, yeah.
Not that. But,
I mean, look, I've fertilized some eggs. Is what you're asking. I've got lots of little fletchings running around here.
it's all a part
Good
of life.
Franklin.
Yes, that is what we are called to do before we die. But,
I'm just staring confusedly at this conversation.
but,
This one-sided conversation.
if you happen to notice any bees on your travels, and you happen to see any hives, could you let me know?
Look, if anybody lives out here in these swamps, they're probably tending to honey. I mean, need honey to make their mead.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And you also need honey to make bandages,
That's true.
and that's what I use to
Hippie is rubbing his feather against his belly. A big, fat, buzzy, fuzzy bee in my tummy. Honey all over it. Honey dipped. Oh.
yeah, and the bandage is what I use to fix Reginald's wing.
Yeah, right, all right. I'll keep my eye out. I'm keeping my eye out. He's gonna do this with his feather. He takes back off into the trees.
Thank you.
Good love, Franklin.
Does she normally talk to birds?
She normally does a lot of weird shit.
I talk to insects.
Just
They don't talk back.
Is there
usually.
anything I can do for old Franklin? He's been a right help lately. I do think it would be nice to give something back. A bird charity, so to speak.
I
For
could go.
good cause.
Well, so they do like blueberries,
Charity?
and they enjoy nuts.
No, it was a joke. For good cause.
Cause. Cause.
I see what you did there.
I,
Awfully late, but I see it now.
You don't her a bag of hammers. I even got that. He kind of elbows Clovis. I'm just joshing you. I didn't get it either.
I didn't get it either.
You must have been a papa in your former life.
Well,
Those little boot snappers.
if I was to have to go to court for recognizing bird puns, I would escalate it all the way to Parliament.
But
Would it be because of a murder?
or a parliament of
Oh,
owls.
No, Parliament. They were Parliament of Rooks.
It's a murder of crows, isn't it? That's what I was thinking of, was crows.
Yes,
That
it
was
is a
not a
murder of
crow,
crows.
was it?
Hey, that's kind of dark, don't you think? Look at him. He's already casting dispersions on us.
Well,
No, I was...
You
it
don't
was-
hear this.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can't.
sorry.
You can only
Oh, there's a bird talking.
You can only hear squawking of birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that's the one that's a bird.
of course they didn't get it right with you.
Of course they think we're black. We think we're crows. Come on, we're Brooks.
Yeah. Well, no. If you're ravens, they would be an unkindness.
Oh, that's right.
Raven until dawn. You know how we go.
Yeah.
You know how we go.
Isn't a parliament of owls?
I'm not sure about owls. I do know that rooks are a parliament.
I'll have to see about that.
Who?
Gee.
Yeah, I've lost the point of this story.
Louise.
Stall just kind of is sweating. Just like,
I
what?
think we need to decide
Let's
which direction we're going.
Let's cleave to the matter at hand. Sodden or Poil. What is it going to be, everyone?
Sodden.
Let's put it to a vote. It doesn't really matter which way we go
Well, do
first.
we want to set up camp first, or do we want
You've
to
already
reach
set
out?
up
We already
camp
set up
here.
Camp's already been set.
Yeah, that's why we got our.
This
Our
is going to be
barrel.
We're our
I reckon
barrels.
this is going to be our base of operations. We're half a day from each, and the ground doesn't look like it's going to be getting any better up ahead. So, I say we sort this all out.
Sodden.
Sodden and Poil situation, but we got to head to one first.
Sodden's the one with the people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
people.
If we go to Sodden, we can ask, and what they choose to tell us will be up to our discretion.
So your vote's for Sodden?
If we go to Poil, then we can go and see what's there or not there. And we can try and surmise things from facts that are not left up to someone's agenda.
What if there's nothing in Poil? Do we have enough to get us to Poil and back from Poil and over to Sodden?
You make a very good point.
If there's nothing there, we just wasted all of our energy, all of our whatever we have remaining.
You know, I haven't been keeping track of the food like I thought I was. So
That's literally your job. I mean, you're taking care of the food, right? You too had that one simple job.
I remember saying we were out this morning. I just forgot.
I mean,
Okay.
we're in a swamp. I reckon we're gonna be able to find something
There's stuff
fit
here.
to eat.
I mean, you can hear it all around us.
Rustle up some sort of grub.
There's at least crickets and
I
frogs.
imagine you get deep enough out in them woods, you find a big, fat, barrel-bellied orc. We'd have rashers of bacon for days.
Oh, where I grew up,
Oh,
where I grew up, you could just find where the water is, and see if you stick your arm in a hole, and if you
Gigan.
find a fish attached to it.
Isn't that Gigan?
Well,
I got an uncle
They
lost a
call it
finger that
noodling.
way.
Noodling.
All says.
Noodling.
Well, if you wanted to go to the safer route, if you just listen real hard, not even that hard enough, I can hear them. The toads. You can eat those.
Got toads, got crickets.
Yeah.
Let's go to Sodden.
I'm not saying it's preferable, but you can't eat them.
There are many worse things you could eat.
I think we should head to the people.
People.
I agree.
Can't eat people, but you can eat your friends. Wait, is that right? Stall scratches his head. Feels like I'm getting this whole joke thing.
If you did, I'd be back.
So we got 4 votes for Sodden.
There's only 5 of us.
Well, I was going to say Poil, but I guess I'm outvoted.
You're technically the leader.
That isn't how we run things around here. You know that.
What's your argument?
Well, I think if we're headed towards the witch, we head towards the town that's been wiped out. Should probably set up camp there.
Yeah, but we need to eat.
Well,
We need to make sure we can find fresh water.
what all do we know about this witch?
Nothing.
Well, then how do you know if she's a bad witch?
We don't.
All we know is what the guy in the tower told us.
She could be a good witch. She could be in Sodden.
Maybe. It's just a guess. Like I said, doesn't really matter which way we go. Just pick one.
Sodden.
Like I said, we decided on Sodden already.
Let's just do Sodden.
I can't make up my mind, so Sodden it is.
That sounds pretty easy.
Stall, we're going to Sodden.
Well, shit. All right. I'll keep the camp here. I'll keep the fire stoking and warm. I think I'll stay here. If that's all right with y'all.
Alright.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what did Guillaume say? Guillaume?
You guys would agree with whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, Guillaume's not here to vote, so.
Yeah. Dave is not here to vote on behalf of Guillaume, so Guillaume's going to go whatever direction.
Whatever,
he
okay.
decides. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like last game session, we didn't get a vote. Or didn't
Yeah.
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 You went along with what we said.
Yeah.
Okay.
We woke up in the
The shit of it.
shit of it. And
Yeah.
Every time I'm gone, you guys vote for whether my gold gets redistributed. I hate this.
Gold's gone again.
Master Tamar, you hear Beatrix say,
Mm-hmm.
would you permit me to go with you? I am curious about this Sodden. She's holding a book in hand.
You know something I don't? Well, I reckon you know more. Plenty I don't, but about Sodden in particular.
Well, recall when we had left the city, I did take some of Lord Darius's library with us.
Oh, yeah. Lord Darius. I can never remember his name. The hat guy.
Hat guy.
Hat guy.
That's close. Let's come to call him. I would be very keen to meet these Sodomites.
That
Sodomite.
has an unsavory ring to it, but you, as long as you recognize the perils that lie ahead and are willing to contend with them,
If only you would help balance me when the road becomes perilous, Master Tama.
and squashy, yes.
Just so.
Yeah, just stay.
You may come, yes.
The woman with the long raven tresses and the dark blue robe with the tattoo beneath her chin, Beatrix, as you know her as, has joined the party.
She's a learner. Don't trust them.
Don't trust them smarts.
She's my GM NPC.
I need a PC to work with. NPC, please.
A GM is a player too. They're not.
She's one of them learner types.
I have a story to share on the way there, if you would permit me.
Well, all we have to listen to are the chirping of bullfrogs, so may as well interrupt their song.
So,
The DST got you too.
I think you will find this interesting, this story I've read about. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Any preparations you wish to make before you leave Bastion at the camp and the others behind?
I don't actually have any rations. Would I be able to procure some?
The,
No,
the
that's all.
provisions
We
are
don't
out at
have
this
any. That's
point.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Sorry.
provisions you had retained from the road are now expired.
That's right. My apologies. I forgot.
That's all good.
So we bought extra rations. Do we still have those?
All your provisions are gone. You were
Okay.
provisioned well enough to get here. Yeah. Okay, so this is something I read in this book, Lord Darius's library, and it appears to be an account of people who had passed through here before. Is the name Gerd Adelard ring a bell? Vilma Kohler, Buak Bean,
No.
Orwell Claviger?
Does me.
Ah,
That's my last name.
I didn't know that.
Perhaps a distant relative of yours.
I do recognize the first name. I don't remember much before. I remember three things. That I'm looking for my relative. I can't say if he's a father, grandfather, uncle, brother. And I was a barmaid at one point before I was called upon to serve the custodian. That's the third thing.
I am afraid, she says. I'm afraid. Sorry, this is her missing arm, for lack of a better
Visual.
pantomime. I'm afraid this story is not about your long distant relative. Instead, it's about this village, Toil. You're walking through the swamp and you can feel the mud sucking at your boots as you're kind of walking in the middle of the day. There are gnats and mosquitoes kind of buzzing about and trying to find purchase in whatever skin is open. You find the helmet hot and overbearing. When you are traveling in the swamps, every day you need to attempt a toughness test, or else you're going to gain exhaustion. You're going to gain peril for walking through here. So, knowing that Saddle and Quill are half a day away, anybody with the heavy quality needs to make a challenging toughness test.
Okay.
Is it standard for everyone else?
There is not one for anyone else.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, only for those in armor's heavy quality.
6% success.
Success.
So, this story, admittedly, it is curious, and I suppose in some sense it is a reflection of the parochial and, well, smallness of these two villages. We certainly saw that their populations were, well, small at best, I suppose, but there is a reason why Poil, I think, there's no one living there any longer. I read about this, for lack of a better term, petty skirmish that in this book is called the War of the Pond.
Of the pond?
How droll.
Apparently, Sodden and Poil are split in twain by this pond, which, by all reckoning, based on some of the numbers I'm seeing here, is much more than just a dirty ditch to go swimming in. I suspect it's a vast lake. But for whatever reason, they call it the pond. And the Sodomnites and Poil Makers, as the people call themselves, have fought over the dominion of Pond for quite some time. Apparently the pond is rife with pikefish. That could prove well, Lord Tama. That means that there may be more resources in either of these backwater villages than we first suspected.
Even the damn fish have teeth out here.
So, there is this litany of grievances, apparently, that these two folk have had against one another. She says, walking beneath the shadows of the mangrove trees. A few fistfights on boats, theft of pigs, an annual game of puddle jumping. Apparently, reading here in this story, that a Sodomite socialite named Rosaline let Julian, a Poil Maker, drown in a game of puddle jumping that apparently led to the War of the Pond. The whole thing seems, once again, very parochial. But for whatever it is, it led to some vicious skirmish.
So Sodomnites won?
Well, in the final days of this war, the Sodomnites hired outsiders to murder a pig that the people of Poil had thought was a local deity. They called it Le Porc Noir. The Black Pig.
The black.
So, the black pig was their god, and their god was murdered.
In a sense. At least that's what this says. I think this was probably 5 years prior to the Jubilee.
It's the Jubilee.
Beware. Common brought the Jubilee. The great reveal of her power and her presence to the world, or at least to all little slice of it.
Was it when she created the Red Death, or is this before that?
This is before.
Oh. So when she showed she was magical.
She had the gift.
She showed that she had the yes.
Wizard, magic.
She was
Isn't that
no
all the same thing?
No. Saint Common was no hedge wizard or purveyor of little tricks and illusions. She was a miracle worker.
They all draw from the same well.
Yeah, I
As
don't
far as
see
I
the
can
difference
tell.
here. You throw magical rocks at each other, and one's a gift, one's magic,
believe-
magic, and gifts, magic.
I believe what was bestowed to me is a gift, whereas I have often thought of one that would call themselves a wizard to be a thief.
A thief.
Mm-hmm.
A thief of magic.
Power.
Who are they stealing from?
There's been a lot of
Too
Different-
philosophical for you?
Well, I didn't have much time to learn. I had only been servant of custodian for a few weeks before my memory slips, so...
Weeks?
yes.
You are so fervent for weeks.
Well,
My God, you are gifted.
when you almost die and she appears to you and speaks to you and asks you if you wish to die or serve her to keep living, you remember.
No one is more zealous than a fresh convert.
Yeah.
Any road.
Sorry. A
That
little
Beatrice
side
says.
art.
Any
We do
road.
this a lot, Beatrice.
This war of the pond happened 5 years prior to the Jubilee. With all due respect, of course. Mr. No less, an apple orchard man named Martel dubbed himself Baron of Sodden. And that's as far as the story seems to go.
You got any free space in your book?
Well,
Because we're about to write it.
Apple clean cider.
this is where we get to the story I was telling you about Gerd Adelard. Apparently, he and others had went west some decade or so before to the capital of Ghent. But Gerd's name is mentioned periodically in these remnants of some story that's been unfinished. I thought it was interesting.
Certainly wouldn't hurt to have that prior knowledge walking in.
What,
Thank you for that.
what would we think with a name like Adelard? That does not seem like it is from Galleon.
Reckon he's foreign like us.
Foreign?
Foreign to Ghent is what I meant.
I don't think that we're foreign to
I'm
Ghent.
not foreign again.
I know I am.
I think she's
Well-
the only one. Maybe this one too, but
I know Ghent.
I'm Gentish, man.
Foreign to Sodden, well, at least.
Just so. No less. If these stories hold true, this war of the pond, we should, she looks about the muddy rats, we should tread carefully. And pay whatever tribute is necessary to this Baron of the apple orchard.
Apples. Cider.
Bees,
Yes.
honey.
Apple trees have lots of
Sounds to be a rich man in these parts.
If
He
he's still
has,
alive.
he has what we need.
If the people here were vicious enough to squabble over this lake, the pond, I am sure that this Baron Martel is probably very miserly with his what he has to keep. I would also believe if he calls himself a Baron that he likely lords over these 13 souls.
With only 13 souls, it means the number of us are enough to tip the scales in whatever conflict he may be involved in.
Well, if Poyle only has 0 souls, it stands to reason that someone would have had to survive to write that. I would imagine that not only whatever supplies that this place has probably a combination of the two.
Tiberius may be right. Lord Darius, in all of his books we had found, he clearly entertained a lot of travelers. He was someone of influence in the Forgotten City. All of his books seem to suggest that he was a cosmopolitan person, that he welcomed many into his court. We know that much, at least, by looking at the portraits in his home. When we were back at the Manse, we saw what was left behind.
Mm-hmm.
To that point, likely someone escaped this war and told the story. We do not think that the story is written by Sodanites, by the victors, but instead by those who were defeated in the War of the Pond. What does it say about the nature of the men that live in Sodom?
Well, we don't know what this puddle jumping is. Maybe it's something that's a lot more dangerous and a lot more provocative.
Dangerous enough to get someone killed doing it.
So maybe they were in the right.
So if these stories about the Witch of the Wood, this lieutenant who is here somewhere, perhaps the Baron would know.
Perhaps the Baron's it.
Perhaps so. I suppose there's only one way to find out.
That's why we're walking there.
But I also know the way of folk religion and how superstitious they are.
Let's not get too hasty. We pass judgment until we clap eyes on what we're seeing. Against a changed land.
I mean not to stoke fire. I mean, in fact, to warn.
Alright.
Do you understand my meaning, Pipistrella?
No, I'm sorry.
So they like to eat people?
I think that these people are very superstitious. They are isolated from the rest of Galeon, and if they were simple enough to fight over a lake, I shudder to think what they would do if they were to witness your miracles.
Oh,
Much less miracles of someone who professes to be a proxy for the god of death.
your point is taken.
Could be. I mean, simple folk are often pure of heart.
And
And simple of mind. One-sided.
if they are like us, then perhaps I won't need to use a miracle unless things go poorly.
Like us. Could you be more specific?
Well, that line that I
Cursed?
can draw across the ground with salt.
Cursed.
Yes.
We don't know if these people are cursed as we. We don't know if they've underwent the passage and made their return. Frankly, they are the only living souls we know of.
Yeah, that's why I chose living.
It would be refreshing if they were not cursed.
Well,
But your point is well taken. I shall act like I had to when I was back home.
I think it is wise. I don't mean to impress upon you or to tell you what to do, but I am worried.
Oh, well, I appreciate your concern.
Our
And-
paradox doesn't have to be their burden.
Your concern is welcome.
Our story need not be theirs. We don't know what's happened in the wider world, perhaps. Who knows?
Okay.
I wonder if they would know the meaning of what I wear.
Maybe, maybe not. You know, it's another curiosity about all of this. husks to be found. Not a single one on this path.
Thus far.
I was thinking the same thing, actually.
Haven't seen any folk either. Where there wouldn't be, if there's no one living around, there wouldn't be any husks for the people to have become, right? Catch my meaning? If the area was deserted before, there wouldn't be any husks. The husks we saw before were worshippers. They were townsfolk. They were farmers, etc. This path we've been trodden, it's a desolate land, full of nothing. Till now.
It were to make you wonder why there's a trodden path to Sodom.
All roads lead to Ghent.
All roads lead to Ghent. So one of these got a path to Ghent. Or maybe both have a road to Ghent.
If I remember rightly, pilgrims trod these paths way back before the Red Death.
The Jubilee.
Grail Knights, etc.
I've read a little bit of your faith. I know that this Jubilee took place in Ghent.
It did.
In the stories, hundreds of thousands of worshippers flocked to Ghent to witness this.
So there would have been people that have been trodden these paths,
That was
which
5
means
years
there
ago.
should have been some husks on the way.
This was a long time ago.
This was before the Red Death, the Jubilee. It took some time. The Jubilee was merely the beginning of what would ultimately lead to
Carmen's death.
Did the pilgrimages stop before the Red Death?
I don't know.
I don't
I don't know anything.
I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Maybe we can inquire with the cantor if there is one in Sodom. Or whatever local peller or peddler of whatever fish or snake oil they sell here would have stories to share with us. I'm sure they'll be quite surprised to find strangers. Maybe even welcoming. Who knows?
Wouldn't that be a pleasant surprise?
I think this swamp is more than just a sticky place to walk through.
Of that we're certain.
Are we?
Well, yeah, there's 2 towns and a lake.
Pikefish.
Isn't it just a swamp on the way to Ghent?
Well, I mean, there's more than just the swamp, is what I'm saying. There's a lake and there's towns.
It's also
Parochial local lordling who owns Apple Orchard dubs himself Baron of 13 people.
that's a headline.
Seems
I see
headstrong.
I see what you're saying by that. Sorry.
Oh no, I thought it appropriate to speak out before we make it into Sodom.
I mean, calling yourself Baron doesn't mean much. I mean, everyone around here seems to think they should call me Lord, which seems ridiculous to me.
Are you a lord?
Oh,
I'm not the person to answer that question.
He used to steal from everybody. He's a tax man.
I'm an old bailiff.
Tax man.
Here's the tax man.
Were a taxman.
I squeezed a few fat merchants in my day, but all that's behind me.
That sounds taxing.
It was.
It's a costly lifestyle, I've heard.
No one likes a tax man. I want to leave that behind me.
Well, I shall not bother you with any more of my droll stories or wanderings in the mind. I am rather looking forward to going to this place, though, meeting other people.
What if there's 13 doesn't exist anymore?
What if they're all husks?
Well,
Spooky. She said.
ooh.
Wait, spooky. We've seen our shares of horrors. those are more supernatural. I suspect this will be much more grounded and complex. We'll draw this session to a close for tonight.
Woo!
Everybody gets to unlock something on their character sheet. And I think we have a little bit of corruption tonight from somebody at the table. We're like, I'm going to continue to threaten this person with my weapon.
Question on the corruption. Can I give myself corruption if I heard a suitable moment?
Well, you don't need to give yourself corruption, but since you didn't gain corruption tonight, you can go one step up the order or chaos.
It's true.
Automagically.
I was thinking of that moment where you witness all the salt people.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that'd be a moment.
Yeah. You think it's appropriate? Gain one chaos rank. Everybody else who gained corruption, which I think was
Me.
only a small set, right? So if your corruption is equal to or less, if my die is equal to or less than your corruption earned, you gain one chaos rank and then 5. So you gain,
Less.
Yeah, so you gain an order rank.
Does anybody
You
have
rationalize it.
dry erase?
I don't, but I actually have something for you all. Do you all have these little worksheets?
No.
I've
No,
got
we didn't have
worksheets for your new profession. You can put them down.
I've already got one.
Yeah, it's on the back of your sheet.
You mean all this
I've
stuff?
just been tracking
Actually,
it.
the
Yeah,
I
first-
just wrote it all down.
I'm gonna
I
do
just
the
wrote it
summon.
back.
In fact, the new character sheet I designed, and which Will has, actually has it on there. This guy. So you all want his moment?
Sure.
So let's talk about tonight's session. Let's start first with the Spillicent.
I like me. I'm real tired, sorry. I enjoyed this one. I kind of enjoyed seeing how Esplicent reacted to a newcomer and was really unsure, and she was really sassy, and I think her chaos was getting a little out of control, but I'm okay with that.
Where are you at in the order and chaos rank tracker? Like, where you at?
After tonight, I'm at 6 chaos, 7 order.
Ooh, you're really close on both sides.
Yeah.
And just to remind you all,
Soul hangs in the balance.
yeah,
Yeah.
here's what I got.
Put that marker.
So if you gain 10 order ranks, you unlock a new ancestral trait, a memory. Of your character, as
Oh,
opposed
I
to
gained that. I never did that.
we didn't do that because we converted all old fate points into, I don't recall.
I got a bunch of permanent
Into
marks.
permanent
Order ranks. Yeah, we
Yeah,
converted
a bunch of
permanent ranks.
permanent.
Yeah, so in the future, when you gain fate points, you'll unlock a new.
Oh, because our
Ancestral
fate
trait.
points became
Yep.
permanent orders. Okay, all right. Well, then that's why.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever your fate points currently is, convert it to permanent order ranks. And then from here on out, when you gain 10 order ranks, you gain a new ancestral trait. If you gain 10 chaos ranks, you will get something kind of fun in return. Talk about that later.
I'll get there eventually.
Let's move on to Master Thomas. Lord Thomas. Which do you prefer, Lord or Master?
Huh?
Which do you prefer, Lord or Master?
I think Thomas kind of eschews any title other than the one that is foisted upon him.
What would they call you among Bastion? Lord or Master?
I think they'd call him Lord.
Lord?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, cool. Let's talk about Thomas.
Thomas' kind of outlook for this session is very hesitant and, curious about this newcomer, Tiberius. I think that were it not too much before, he would have been even more hesitant to take someone new on. But considering everyone's outlook, newly found outlook on life, he seemed much more forgiving than he would have been in the past. So I feel good about his character development in that regard, in terms of he was this horrible, nasty tax man, and now he's this person who is taken upon the mantle of rulership, and then feels he is, or at least hoping he is making the right decisions, moving along and not trotting on anyone's toes too much in terms of leadership. But I guess those sorts of judgment calls are left best for everyone else around him. But I feel like he's doing a pretty good job of leadership. I feel good about it.
This is the way. Clovis.
I'm sticking to the way that we all decided.
What?
We're embracing the simple things.
Mm-hmm.
We're letting life live.
Clinging to humanity.
We're clinging to humanity. Yeah. I'm just that's why, like, you know, I mean, these two are a little hestant. I'm all like, come on in, fuck it. We lost the B guy. I mean, we really needed a B guy. Maybe
Sorry
these guys get something special.
They were talking about somebody who died. They killed in the previous game. Who had bees.
They don't have bees.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So
I actually didn't kill.
That
Somebody
4-8
else killed.
I will tell you on that note, there was going to be a tonal shift in our game.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of like why the path here wasn't nearly as dangerous. Was a little different. Change in season, change in biome, and then Beatrix's kind of story toward the end to kind of tee some of that up.
Mm-hmm.
We will have kind of a tonal shift in the next part of our story.
Yeah, I kind of guessed that.
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, because we can't. I mean, we've had these we obviously in the last 2 sessions we had these major momentous story discoveries, and you only tread that ground so much.
Yeah.
We'll revisit it when the time is right, but we're going to see a tonal shift from here, from the story from here. We're going to come to you last, Will. I'm going to talk about Espilicent. Sorry, Pipistrella. My apologies.
Pipistrella is still trying to hold on to her reality while also accepting the new information.
Yeah.
And also dealing with the fact that she judged people and herself and others according to old rules.
Yeah.
You know, she's still dealing with that, so she's trying to embrace the new rules, but is having a hard time meshing those together.
Yeah.
So she's weighing out, okay, when is it okay to use these spells that are meant to cleanse the land of, the unliving, the Hermosty, those sorts of things. And it's basically, she's starting to come to in defense of herself or in defense of others.
Uh-huh.
But that's how she can continue to justify her religion still.
I was really pleased when you chose to be a Auspix, or specifically to follow the Custodian, because it would allow me to introduce not only just kind of the big shift in the discovery through the passage, but also to see the character and the player struggle with how to deal with that. Because it's in things that isn't necessarily this is right, this is wrong, this is evil, this is good, this is undead, this is not undead. Those lines are really blurred, as we all kind of collectively discovered. So it'll be really fun to explore.
We've had to set rules to base our reality around.
Yeah. I mean, this is,
That's...
beyond just what we've done with, Pipistrella and this discovery, we now have new rules we're playing with too in the game, completely new rules, this is all new territory. And once again, I'm writing this and playtesting this as we go. So these are things will continue to evolve, but more importantly in the story, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how Pipistrella continues to deal with that and how that nets out for her as the story goes along. But I think it goes back to one thing that actually Nick and Paige and I, and Dave's not here tonight, about the fireside chat. We had this moment where it was these very beyond all this big world earth shattering discovery, there's these very human moments around the fire talking about things that seem so minor but help kind of flesh out the character and their story. Particularly when we talk about like how characters discover parts of their memory or what came before, beyond just what's on the piece of paper in front of you, like who this character is beyond like, I'm really good with swords, I was a bailiff, I could do this. Those little moments that kind of build a character. So we'll continue doing that. And I think those moments for you, in particular Pipistrel, will happen. We just have to be good stewards of that. We have to remember that we need to slow down and have those conversations with one another, not just with NPCs. So let's go last to Tiberius. But excellent, by the way. I'm going to talk about how we got where we're at with Will and Tiberius, but I want to hear from you, like your kind of read on all this tonight.
Tiberius's read?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, he's obviously overwhelmed. Tiberius is. I'm trying to figure out, like, not to give too much weight about the character, I guess, because I'm holding some things close to my chest at this point. But he's overwhelmed, but he is extremely thankful, I suppose, especially primarily towards Clovis. Actually, you'll note that when he refused to vote until Clovis voted, and then he would vote because you showed him the first kindness that he had received really according to his memory, like really can actually. So that's so he's going to be looking to return that kindness, but also in
the field of battle.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
He's very he is determined to prove his worth, but whether it's to you or whether it's to whoever sang that song
Or himself.
whether it's to himself, that is yet to be seen. And probably, it was brought up that he is wearing the armor, and I like to imagine that he keeps himself in that prison, that physical reminder of that mental prison, because until he knows his past, he doesn't know what he has to. What is redemption if you don't know if you don't know the full scale of who you hurt? And I feel that he on one hand he's horrified, but on the other hand he's thankful for the opportunity, because when you're trapped in a cave you can't redeem yourself. When you're closed off from the rest of the world, what are you going to be able to do? So yeah, I think he's going to do everything he can to make sure that starting with these people, do everything he can to prove himself useful.
So I this whole thing with Tiberius and Poe and the Shepherd's Field or Shepherd's Pass actually was intended to be a side story when you and Adam were out. We were just going to do this as like kind of a side thing, and like I didn't know how it was going to develop. And then after it happened is whenever Sarah said I can't play anymore, and then I started talking to Will, and then I explained to Will kind of like what the situation they were in. So like we kind of collectively came with this idea of like how one, we can introduce a new player to the game. Two, not to make it feel like he's suddenly being railroaded into the story where it's coming out of left field, doesn't really fit well just because he's a new person. But more importantly,
you have to accept me. I'm new. I'm truly at
I'm
the
a
table.
player character.
Yeah. So you have to.
But really, to figure out how to interweave them into the story, so we came up with this. This is kind of the foundation what we kind of collectively came up with whenever we're working on Will's character. So yeah, that's tonight's session. Okay, so now it's just Adam and Nick and I, and everybody else has left. But I want to take this time to talk a little bit about something that some of you have probably already seen or kind of witnessing. So very early on in the game, whenever we were talking about what Adam wanted to play, he and Grimo Perilous have been working on Divinity Unleashed, which is this side project that's kind of grown fairly large. And without going into too much detail, for now, essentially there's a host of spells and professions and all kinds of new stuff that's not in the Zweihander line that they're working on. And we brought in the Auspex along with their spells. I think we've done a couple, like the Doom Metal.
I've shown Doom Metal, which gives you a fortune point that you can use so long as it has to do with your dooming, which is why she's so rude. And then Restful Dreams, which if she succeeds, you rest peacefully and you wake up to unhindered, even if you're in an unsafe place, because it's the god of dreams, you know. Which is also why she was like, "Do you want me to help you sleep?" but you know, she was
Take this opium.
you know, socially awkward, so you know. That's a couple of the spells we've shown off, and I'm hoping to show off more as I've learned them.
Yeah, we're definitely really excited about Divinity Unleashed, and we're
Yeah,
happy to showcase some of the
yeah.
tease out some of the stuff that we've been working on for a while.
And as we get art finished, we'll showcase more of it on our Patreon, which we have shown the cover for it already.
Yeah.
So, but another
Real quick side, just a quick reminder to kind of be able to kind of put a lot of this into practice. Give yourself a new spell every session,
Okay.
along with whatever normal unlock you would have.
Okay.
So we can kind of put more magic for you, more options to kind of flex, but also to kind of get an opportunity for you to play test some of these as well, like in
Yeah,
real life play.
Got some in mind.
Cool.
So, the spell I have in mind to run by you is a new type of spell in Divinity Unleashed. I wanted to make sure that you knew how it worked. That way, if I am to use it, or if you think it fits this campaign, you know, you're not surprised when I do it.
Yeah.
And it's called a reaction spell. And there have been some reaction spells put on the Grim and Perilous Library. But these are a little bit different because each one of these requires a certain provocation to be met. Like, I can't just use them as a reaction at any point. There has to be a catalyst.
Okay.
And for this particular one, it's called Custodian's Embrace, and it's as a reaction whenever an engaged foe uses a movement action. I may cast a spell for 1 AP. So that means that if they move up to me, they can't I can't cast it because they used that movement action when they started away from me. So if they try and use a maneuver, I could potentially cast this spell, or if they try and hustle or charge or get up even.
Yeah.
I could try to cast it.
If they're moving away?
Yeah, because they use that movement action while they're engaged.
Okay.
With me.
So if they use any movement action while they're engaged with you.
It's a spell, it's not an attack.
Yeah. I'm just trying to understand. So the prerequisite is an enemy or a foe, be clear, a foe is engaged with Pip and uses any movement action.
Any movement action.
Okay.
That's the catalyst.
Yeah. And so what's awesome about it is I may not be using all my action points because I'm hoping that it'll happen. And we're all about opportunity cost, particularly with these new things that could break the game even more.
Yeah.
And if I ever need to defend myself, it's like, oh, but I won't be able to cast that spell if I don't have any more. So the effect is one foe you touch suffers a -10 base chance to all brawn-based skill tests. And then there's an additional effect if they don't resist it. So in addition, the foe must resist with a successful toughness test or reduce their brawn bonus by 3 to a minimum of 1. So that
is it a petty, lesser, or greater spell?
It is petty.
Okay.
And so there's a similar spell to it, which is like the Winter Wolves, which is -10 to I think all tests. But I wanted to, because we're also doing brawn bonus, which is kind of the opposite of Aegis.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that it was very specific, being a brawn-based skill test.
Yeah. Let me take a look at it real quick. I'm curious. So let's read this aloud. So distance any one person you can touch. Reagents, pitch and dust. Got it. Duration 3 plus WB in minutes. As a reaction, whenever an engaged foe uses a movement action, you may cast a spell for 1 AP. Okay. One foe you touch. So one foe you touch suffers a -10 base chance on brawn-based skill tests. In addition, they must resist with a successful toughness test, or reduce their BB by 3 to a minimum of 1.
Yeah, so the only way they're gonna have that -2 their brawn bonuses if they use a movement action, if I succeed, and if they don't resist.
So this is a combat spell, to be clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise you can't use reactions in narrative time.
That's right. Okay. Let's try it.
Yeah.
I will say, so I'm thinking about the game master's perspective. So, as an example, let's pull out the Tarnished Knight. So these are intermediate risk factor creatures. What I typically do is whenever a damage threshold drops, I always print these in pen and paper, and I just write down the new thresholds underneath when something changes. If they suffer, if they're intimidated, as an example, I'll update the numbers right here. So, thinking around how this would work, like in play from a game master's perspective, I would, and this is just important for understanding how a game master would track this. So a game master is going to have to remember that it's a -10 to brawn, and potentially drops BB by 3, so that brings it down by 4. Then I adjust threshold even further. Okay. Let's try it. That's really what it boils down to. You try it.
Yeah, my biggest hang-up was the tracking part, not necessarily like the amount.
Yeah, you're. I mean the. But we could talk about like what a recommendation I would make would be. Doesn't mean it's to hold, but we'll talk about that at a different time. But yeah, I mean, I think you should try this out because once again, you need to use these in play. I'm sure you're using them to some degree in play with your Radiator game, but if not, well, great. Then you need to play test them. So let's play test them here.
We're play testing different schools, which is the God Emperor. And I think maybe he's the only spellcaster left. Yeah, we're play testing the God Emperor. That's it.
Cool.
So then the other thing that came up tonight is what happens with divine marks.
Yeah. So as a reminder, whenever you had channeled power with a spell, you would generate a phase 6. Therefore, you provoked divine punishment, which in the starter kit, to be clear, it's something we need to just address. We need to address this first, and we can talk about the next thing.
Yes.
So, divine punishments. There are some of them have limits. Some don't. Like as an example, Nightfall Thrall would be when you spend a fortune point, I get 2 instead. You don't give me 2. I just get to pull initial fortune point out of nowhere. So
okay.
So as an example, you're like, hey, I want to use a fortune point to reroll. Cool. You give me that fortune point, and I get one that pulls out of thin air that goes into my pool. But the way that would work is that would technically all those could technically go back to you too. You're putting more fortune into play.
Okay.
So yeah, because that's why you're struck with a rash of luck. It's actually lucky.
Yeah.
So divine punishments, divine retributions specifically, were created for the starter kit to provide an alternative to chaos manifestations. So chaos manifestations being the domain of arcane magic, and divine retributions being the domain of divine magic. So marks, however, are different. So help me understand how a mark works.
So the way that you unlock being able to gain a mark is you have to choose one of the 10 professions that are in Divinity Unleashed.
So Auspex in this case.
Yes, in this case an Auspex. And it's all about, okay, if you want to specialize, you have to give up other things in order to do it. The first part is that I couldn't take any generalist spells at the beginning.
Got it. So you can only use...
Custodian's Petty. That's it. That's all I could use. Now, you let me use this one generalist spell because it would specifically mention the Custodian. The Custodian's Dying Breath.
Yeah.
But other than that, I couldn't take any general spells. Now I can
Okay.
learn them, but I can't take them at the beginning.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's one side of it. The other side is you immediately have to worry about divine punishments, which, when this was written, was originally written for the revised court rulebook.
Mhm.
And divine punishments are different than divine retribution, but in this case, we're talking divine retribution because we're merging the starter kit in this
Yeah.
supplement that we're working on. So that was from the beginning.
Yeah.
I never had chaos manifestations that should have occurred. It should have always been divine punishments. And, I mean, retributions.
Retribution.
And so then if you go into the augur, or augur, yeah,
Augering a toilet.
since you already have divine punishments, which is a part of becoming an augur, we said, okay, if you're specializing even further, then we want you to still have divine punishments, or in this case, divine retributions, but add on top of it a divine marks.
So what is a divine mark?
A divine mark is, so narratively why you get these divine retributions is when you channel power, you're reaching out to other gods, and that's the god's reminder of, no, you serve me. Well, divine mark is the same thing. It's like, wait, you're still channeling out to other gods? Okay, I'm going to give you a reminder, and I'm going to remind everyone else too that you're mine, which has a lot of social aspects to it. If you start gaining these physical changes to your appearance that people can spot.
It's kind of like the malignancies for necromancy, and I can't remember what the other one is for the divine magic, but very similar. But malignancies kind of function the same way. They're kind of like you get this and you also get this.
Right. Covenant magic does
Covenant
it
magic,
too.
yeah.
So with this, some marks are good, some marks are bad, some marks are both. Other marks are just appearance. And so the way that it works is when you gain a chaos manifestation, you gain a mark. And if you really don't want to gain a mark, you need to make a toughness test in order to resist it.
Okay.
So you can either say, yeah, I'm going to get that mark,
Okay.
or you can try to make a toughness test, but you won't always succeed that toughness test. And you still have to deal with divine retribution. So channeling power never has no consequences.
So what okay, so now you have a mark. What does
Yeah.
that mean
Well,
mechanically?
we roll on a table to see what that mark is.
Okay.
And I did share a document
I
with
saw
you.
it, yeah.
And if we want to roll on that table now, we can see what comes up.
One moment. How long do marks last?
They're permanent.
What happens if you get 10?
Well, the 10th one is if you get this mark, re-roll on the table, and if you get it again, then you basically die or retire. And so we, if you want to keep going, that's like fate point time. And whereas in this campaign, it would be, I die from that mark, and then I would have to come back in the ways that we're using.
So I think we're dealing with a lot of layers of complexity, layering on retributions, punishments, and marks. I think we should choose like one path to make things simple for you. I think we do marks. Like marks are the what you get if you roll phase 6 on channel power.
I think it should be marks and retributions. We can take punishments and take those aside. But yeah, I think we should keep retributions.
So a randomized retribution and a randomized mark.
Yeah, because if I start getting to the point, let's say I have 7 marks, I might want to start trying to resist it.
Right. So let's talk about the number of dice rolls to get there. So you cast a spell, and you can channel power as a reaction, by the way. or as part of casting your spells. It could be a reaction, or it could be done just as part of whatever you're doing. So you roll your percentiles, you roll your d6s, you determine the effects of your spell, if any. Then you roll in random table for Divine Retribution. Then you decide if you're going to roll a toughness test to withstand a mark, if you wish to resist, or else you're going to get a mark. Then you roll once again randomly on a table, determine what that mark is. So how does that all cross over with drawbacks and disorders? Because drawbacks and disorders are intended, at least, to be the long path to, I don't know if you call it punishment, but the long path to change. Like your character is changing. In this system, you're saying the character can change very quickly. In fact, if you did it right, I mean, you could technically retire your character in the first session of what you're suggesting. You could channel power for 10 spells and decide I'm going to take all the marks.
You can't get marks until your intermediate tier.
Okay, so I see. Okay, so marks don't. So the drawback for being an Auspex, as an example, is that you can't take normal generalist magic spells.
Right, and you're open to divine punishment because this was written before the starter kit.
Okay. I tried to find a way to soften the complexity. I like the idea of marks. I think it's really interesting and fun. I think it's a lot of fun. I would say let's play with it, see what happens. Just see what happens.
So if we go to that point in time, you know, we did everything, and I just got that Night Father's Thrall.
Yeah.
And then now we roll a d10 to see what mark I have.
Yeah. And a quick point of clarification too. So, chaos. So divine retributions in starter kit are replaced with divine punishment. So when you're intermediate tier, you don't get retributions and punishments. You get punishments. So retributions are like here's the fickle punishment of a god. That's a divine retribution, like a retributive effect. Punishment is a lasting thing you have to undergo atonement for.
Okay, so we could do punishment and marks, or retribution and marks, whichever one you want.
I think retribution and marks, because it makes it a little simpler.
Okay.
Because we can resolve, because what we can do, I'm thinking about like how we orchestrate this during the game. So retribution if happens now. Like right now, in the game, I'll choose a retribution or we'll randomly roll. I mean, there's one I had in mind automatically for tonight. I thought it was Thrall. Retribution can be quickly rolled, quickly generated, quickly spit out. A mark, in the same way that a disorder or a drawback occurs, should occur at the beginning or the end of a session.
Okay.
Because there are considerations for how that will impact a character permanently. Same way with like how we do like permanent injuries. We tend to like if somebody is like, I got a permanent injury, I have a permanent drawback from it. Okay, we need to resolve that at the end of the session, because then it's more than just like hey, mark this thing down. Your character sheet could go away. It's more of a permanent lasting thing. So we discussed it as just players and game masters. So
Yeah.
I think the orchestration is handle retributions during the session, handle marks at the end.
Okay.
That was my thought too. That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, and that may even be something we want to consider for the supplement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of ways you can cut the cake, as they say.
Yeah.
Got the cheese.
I have a gut instinct on how it could be changed, but I don't want to really get into it right now.
Yeah.
We can talk about it some other time. But I think for now, let's figure out what your mark's going to be.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you're a take one.
Yeah. I don't want to resist the first one because I mean I have a 1 in 10 chance of re-rolling a 1 in 10 chance of death.
So a player character can resist the punishment of a god. What if they resist it? What happens as a result? Like they just don't get it, and the god's like, okay, no big deal.
I don't remember it, and that may be an oversight on my part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it off camera.
I think Pipistrello would be pretty penitent at this point too, so it makes sense.
Well,
that
you kind of set it up in the story too. Like, she had just converted it to 2 weeks, and then there's the memory loss, and then like she's hyper fervent, and like a living vessel for the custodian, or living vessel, the supernatural vessel for the custodian.
A vessel for the code.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
What are the stats a god has? Well, they're supernatural. I cast a spell on them. Go ahead and roll. Let's figure out what your mark is. This is fun.
That's a 1.
Oh,
Do you have the table or should I get it?
I can pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah, pull up my Discord here real quick. I like the spells you showed me. I read through them all.
Yeah, they're fun. We tried to find creative ways to do prophecy and dreams as well.
So I'm pulling up Discord on my phone, so it won't come up on my laptop. Because I don't have Discord on my laptop.
Really?
Nope, not my home laptop. I use this purely for gaming.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So it doesn't ever get that I ever put
Discord stank.
I don't put Discord or Twitter or social media on it. I'm on social media more than enough during work. Okay, so here we go. You rolled a 1. Your mark. Get through the spells here. Rigor mortis. Your skin becomes hard and your joints stiff. You gain +1 to your damage threshold. Secondary. You get +1 to your damage threshold.
Yep. So that is one of the good ones. There's one in there that is nothing but bad. So we'll see what happens when I get that one. So I got lucky in my roll of 1.
Yeah.
Gaining rigor mortis.
Stiff joints.
Well, yeah, that is true. I do have to roleplay that out. Yeah, I have to move like somebody that just rose from the dead from now on.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun narrative qualities to that. Like without having to mechanize what that means. Like the narrative description tells you enough, right? Your joints are not stiff. You move with rigidity. You can play it out in game. You know, you got +1 damage threshold because you're just stiff.
A rheumatism that's her years belie.
Yeah. Your distinguishing mark should be rigor mortis or achy joints or something like that. I mean, yeah. Food for thought on we could figure out how to make that fit better, but that's okay. I think it's fun for what it is. Well, we'll continue playing with the stuff from Divinity Unleashed. More spells, more opportunity to explore some of the things to anticipate in that supplement when the time is right. But thank you all for tuning in. More to come for session 14 of The Damned with our new player Will.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to him playing with us. He went with us to Gen Con and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. He did pretty well tonight too, I'm just saying. Yeah. All right. See you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey there, viewers. If you like what you're seeing, take the next step. Head on over to our Patreon where we create content for Zweihander and other games. Just go to grimandperilous.com and click on the Patreon button. Thanks.